question in advance. We're good. Everyone, welcome to the special public meeting of March 31st, 2026 of the Township of Washington Township Council. Adequate notice of the meeting was given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act by the Township Clerk to at least 2 newspapers on March 24th, 2026. And this notice has been posted on the Township Bulletin Board, electronic message board, WCTV, and on the Township website. Please notify the municipal clerk for any disability requirements necessary for attendance at Township Council meetings. The fire exits are located through the double doors to your right and through the door on your left. Please silence all cell phones. If you are unable to attend the council meeting in person and would like a topic to be addressed at a council meeting, please visit www.twpofwashington.us. Use the Contact Us tab, click on Mayor and Council, send email to contact all council members at once. Could everyone please stand for a salute to the flag? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Councilman Calcium.
Here.
Councilman Sears.
Here.
Councilman Oman. Councilwoman Velez. Council President Tessena.
Here. Let the record reflect also in attendance, Mayor Peter Calamari, Administrator Mark DiCarlo, CMFO John Corcoran via Zoom, and Township Clerk Susan Witkowski. At this time, I'd like a motion to open to the public comment period.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Would anybody like to address the council at this time from the public? Seeing no one, motion to close the public comment period.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to discussion, we'll continue with the 2026 budget. We'll start on page 37. We'll start with prosecutor's office, prosecutor's salary. There is none. Extra sessions, there is none, right? Alternate prosecutors, so that completes the bottom of page 37. We'll move to 38. Department of Municipal Facilities. I know we asked this to be changed from DMF to DPW last year because that's their new name, so I don't know why we still have.
Oh, no, so mine says DPW.
They're the first one.
It's okay, we can fix it.
Right.
Oh, it's wrong.
You're right, you're right.
So the first one is a salary line item. It's a base salary plus safety education steps, savings due to recent retirements.
So
So,
again, it's sort of contractual. I know you wanted to skip the salary line, but if you wanted to.
but this one's contractual, right?
It is. I want you to realize that it does include the safety steps, and all that supporting documentation is in the miscellaneous section if anyone wanted to see it. But we give everybody's breakdown of what their salary is when they hit their milestone, their safety type stuff. So, and it's obviously a reduction from last year because we had 2 very senior individuals retire, and they were replaced by 2 new officers that entered in the lowest. It's considered an H-man, but it would be the entry level step.
So should we have seen a more of a reduction, Mr. Farley?
Well, I mean, there's not that much of a jump. I think entry level is like 49,000 and top is 83, but then there's 2.75% on everybody's salary because it's a new year.
And that's contractual, right? That's in the
Yes, that's
collective bargaining
contractual,
agreement?
yep, and then it has the safety incentive steps.
Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Or we want to table it?
No, it's contractual, it's contractual, you can do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next time, DPW overtime. It's a big increase from last year.
So I'm sorry, were you ready?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So if you see how much we spent, I was hoping to gamble, not that that's an appropriate budgeting term, but we've already spent $43,000 this year in overtime, and those are because of the huge snowstorms. So based
Doesn't
on
some of that money come back from the county and go into this trust?
we do, it does go back into the trust. Yes, with the trust,
Do we know what the trust is at? Do we look at that?
I gave you the audit trail.
Can Mr. Kaufman tell us what's?
Mr. Corcoran, can you tell us what's in the trust for the snow removal?
I really don't know the exact amount,
I can look it up.
and I'm not able to get on the Edmonds to check it right now.
I can get into Edmonds. I can tell you that I remember when I told you when we do the AFS, I transferred 25,000 into the snow trust and into the accumulated leave. So we did just get a check from the county for the big snowstorm. I think it was $10,000 or $12,000. But remember, we also use that to offset the cost to repair the trucks. So if you want an exact amount, I can sign. It'll just take me a minute to sign into Edmunds. I can get it for you. But based on what we spent last year, and considering we blew through 43,000 already, that's why we asked what we did. We did ask for. And last year was because of snow as well.
Yeah, it was the snowstorms and
The big one was Martin Luther King Day, and I think this year was a big one on Martin Luther King Day too. But do you want me to look, sir, for and then
Let's hold off on this one because I'm sure Mr. Allman has something he'd want to add to this one. So let's hold on.
Okay.
Let's table this one. Following one is stipends not foreman. That's contractual, 7420.
Yes.
So that's everybody okay with that? It's a
Mhm.
contractual thing. Seasonal workers stays the same as last year. You want to cut that a little bit?
I kindly asked you not to because that's how I, when I saw overtime creeping up like that, I had to adjust how we were using our seasonals. So I cut back on their hours because I knew I was going to have to account for that. Plus, I think we're asking not to increase the line, but to increase their salary range by 50 cents when we get to the salaries. And also, we were able to determine this year that seasonals can work 40-hour work weeks without them being privy to health benefits, and we confirmed that with our attorney. So we
Have we confirmed it with the Department of Labor?
Yes, our labor attorney. Yes. So we were holding them to 29 hours the last couple of years because of it, and now it's obviously we're attracting better and more candidates because people aren't limited to 29 hours. So our plan this year is to have 2 employees that have been here for a long time, that have a lot of institutional knowledge, have a lot
To go
of
40
skills.
hours a week?
Like one, you'll probably his name, he's got great skills as a mason. They're gonna work the 40 hours. And then right now, starting in May, we're going to have 2 that will be able to do, we're gonna keep them at 32 hours so we don't totally blow through this and we have enough money for leaf season. So I kindly ask if we can keep that funded at that.
Everybody okay with it?
So did the Department of Labor change with the number of hours worked for part-time?
I don't know
Because it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
I don't know how you can go, from 29 to 40.
Well, the advice, when I started from Mr. West, because people were working more than that, was to keep them at 29 hours. We since then went back to him like 2 months ago when we were preparing the budget, and he checked and he feels confident that seasonals can work 40 hours without us having to offer them health benefits.
Don't they need a break in
They
the
don't.
seasonal? They could be seasonal an entire year.
Well, then they're probably not considered seasonal, but we.
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah, so no, we keep them from about April 1st, March
To
15th.
November.
April 1st to about the end of leaf season. So, and then we usually will lose people during this, the 2 college kids that are going to start in May are going to probably leave us in
By August.
September.
Yeah.
So we're hoping we'll find another 1 or 2 during that time frame. But I do feel confident on the information given to us by our labor attorney. Because our payroll individual, conferred as well, and between all of us, we feel confident that we can.
I'm just concerned that
we're gonna have to
they may
pay
want,
benefits.
yeah.
But what?
They're not privy to it. They can't have it.
They can't.
They can't have it.
Well, if they can't have it, then we.
As long as it's confirmed that they can't, I don't want to make new full-time employees and then bring up
Right.
all that additional overhead.
You have my word.
Everybody okay with it?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, it's not an increase, so just leave it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next line is winter watch. What is this? What is winter?
This is contractual too. So I think it starts in the middle of December. So it's like December 15th to March 15th. And contractually, the DPW employee is for every 16 hours of overtime a week because they're on winter watch. So winter watch is they are the first and immediate person to respond if called out by the police.
Are they physically working? Or are they just working
So
from
no,
home?
so the
On
winter
call?
watch.
Are they on call?
Right, so say there's no call during their week, they still get the 16 hours of overtime. If there is a call, they still get the 16 hours of overtime, and they get the money for responding for however long they're here with a minimum of 2 hours. So it's essentially an on-call stipend for them.
And this is contractual?
Yes, same thing.
We got to look at the contract next time on that. And that's every week, whether it's,
Well, it's during our winter season, that's how they
16
identify
hours,
who's
watch
responsible
TV.
for coming,
okay.
you know.
All right, everybody okay with that?
Yeah, it's contractual.
Moving to page 39, superintendent's salary, we'll skip that. The stipend is a stipend, right? There's
Yes,
no,
sir.
that's a
Contractual.
contractual stipend, right?
Yep.
Everybody okay with
Yeah.
the stipends?
Mhm.
Vacation buyback is 1,000. They haven't used it, but we need it there just as a reserve if somebody does buy it back, right, Mark? Is that basically?
Yes, so we used to fund the 1,000 for the sick leave, but no one is able to get it. In their contract, you have a certain amount of sick time before they can sell it back, and no one's even close to that. So that's why we unfunded or defunded that line. But the vacation buyback, since I've been here, honestly, no one has used it, but again, someone contractually can come along, so we would be obligated.
Is that in a trust, Mark?
No,
A fund or not?
what is what in the trust?
The vacation buyback, we funded it for the last 5 years, nothing was spent, right?
No, it lapses in the surplus.
Okay,
So it
what's
goes to
the
reserve.
what's a typical buyback on that? Any idea?
No, I don't remember off the top of my head. So like, it's most likely similar to police. So the police can sell back up to 100 hours of what they have or half of what they have.
Right.
I don't remember what the DPW can, and it's just at their hourly rate.
John, would this make sense to put it into a trust?
I mean, you could, it's such a low amount, I don't know if that's really necessary.
Okay.
Well,
If it was a larger amount, I might say do it.
well, if you have someone buying back hours, right? Does that accrue over time for, is
So-
that just for that particular year?
So I'll just answer it. I'll just expand to answer it. Any money unused in 25 will go into reserves for 26. For bills that haven't been paid, we get a year. Then after that year, that will lapse into trust,
Mhm.
right? So the second year from the budget. So in the beginning of 2028, 2025 will lapse into
27.
into surplus. So essentially, I did do what you asked. We took it during the AFS. So during the AFS, I funded the accumulated leave trust with $25,000. So, it doesn't specifically come from this line or that line. It's just rather diverting and going to surplus. We put it into accumulated leave and we put it into the snow trust. That's how we did it. That's really the only way we can build up those trusts. So essentially, the answer to your question is yes. It's just the explanation is not as clean as what the answer is not as clean as what you're looking for. But essentially, yes, we do fund our trust by unused money from the previous 2 years.
Everybody okay with it?
If it's in a trust, I'm okay with it.
What's that?
If it's in some type of trust account,
Well, it's not, as per Mr. Corcoran, it's not in a trust. It's,
an account that's used solely for, if we're funding this for buybacks, whether it's police or the DPW, it's somewhere we can access it readily. The $1,000, I don't think buys a lot of
No.
buyback vacation time
So-
for a whole department.
So this line is appropriate to be in the budget, right? Because it's a yearly operating expense essentially. So next year, we could still use that money. So say the employee wants to wait till the end of the year to make sure they don't use any vacation.
yeah, because like, why didn't we fund sick leave payout last year? It's not in that
Because
contract
it's the
anymore?
same explanation. There was no one eligible to
Oh.
sell back sick time. So that it made sense.
That one made sense to not
Right.
fund it, gotcha.
So, I mean, if you want to take the $1,000 away, you can, but if someone comes from the DPW and wants to sell back money, I won't have anything. But it's also possible that multiple people could come and I could need more than $1,000. It's just, we feel the $1,000 is a safe holding point.
What say you, gentlemen? You okay with it?
Kind of like Steve's idea of putting this into a trust, and it just constantly keeps building.
You know, we need an average. What's the average?
Well, nothing's been spent on this.
I understand.
So it makes sense to just get rid of it then if you want to do all that work, just like we did sick payout, just get rid of it. That's,
But then what do we do if someone wants to sell back even one day?
we find the money somewhere else like we would have to anyway.
You guys keep saying we'll find the money, but we cut a lot of the line items. Yeah, you got to give us a little something to find the money from when you ask.
Well, Mark just said they haven't, he funded with $25,000 somewhere that he could take it out of. Was that not what you said, Mark?
Well, I didn't
I misunderstood.
necessarily say it like that, but there is money in the trust, and it's a trust for accumulated leave. So like, I don't want to
Would
use that.
vacation buyback would that fall under accumulated leave?
I mean, essentially it could, but again, if you're taking like even $1,000, that's $1,000 less that will eventually go into surplus if it's unused. So, you know, on the back end of the budget, I do want there to be money that's unused because that's how we're going to build up our surplus.
All right, we'll leave it.
Leave it for now, and then we'll deal with that later, because I think that's an issue.
Directors is salary, which we'll skip. We'll go to C2 licensed operator. That's a contract with somebody for using their license.
Yeah, you already passed the agreement at the reorg meeting for $4,000 for that gentleman.
Okay. DPW office supplies is the same. They didn't use anything last year, and they shouldn't be using that much
This year.
Yeah.
So, want to cut it? Want to cut it to 5? I'll make a motion to cut it to 500.
I'll second it.
So motion by Steve, second by Mr. Sears to cut it $400. So minus 400. Roll call.
Councilman Casio?
Yes.
Councilman Sears?
Yes.
Council President DeSena?
Yes. Dues, conferences, and meetings, same as last year. Everybody okay with that?
Cut it 5.
Well, it's 4, 9, cut 3.
Cut 3. I'll make a motion to cut it to $300, $700.
Before you do it, are you willing to listen?
Sure, I'll listen to anything.
Thank you. If hypothetically you're cutting these lines because you don't see it used, then that, I mean, this isn't a threat, but it tells me use the money. And then if I use the money, I'm not going to have anything go into surplus. We're working against ourselves essentially. So I respect you for allowing me to say that. I ask you to reconsider cutting it based on, because you don't see the usage. It doesn't mean I might not need it this year. You know, we are encouraging DPW to better themselves and have professional development. And the dues meetings and conferences assists us with that. It's $1,000. I don't think you cut anyone else's. So thank you for listening.
Then I will not.
Leave it alone? Everybody okay with leaving it
I'm
alone?
still, my motion still stands, but,
So cut it 300?
you know, if you're funding it, and this is just a general statement, if you're funding something, I expect it to be used and not put it into surplus for the next year. If we're giving the taxpayers money to do something, then do it. You know, this thing was, we're putting it to surplus for next year. Yes, is it bringing down the cost next year? Theoretically, on paper, yes. Realistically, no, because you're still charging the taxpayers for something that they're not getting a service for. And that's an issue. You know, surplus sounds great, but it's still your money that we're using in surplus. So it's still the same.
It was only one of my facts. My most considerable fact was to please invest into your DPW workers and allow them to go to schools and be part of conferences and organizations.
Okay, and Mark, that's okay, but then it needs more encouragement because obviously there was no encouragement in 2021, 22, 23, 24, or 25, or 25.
Okay.
So that's all I'm saying.
I understand.
If we're spending the money, then spend the money. If we have $1,000, use $1,000 to get the education. Right now, they're only getting half the education that they should be getting, right? Momentarily.
That makes sense.
So,
So we did make a new round of promotions for, we have a new foreman and we have 2 new crew chiefs. So maybe I can encourage them. So thank you.
all right.
They've been promoted already, Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes, and yep.
Is that public knowledge or?
Yeah, we
From the
informed,
retirement list, you.
yeah, we informed, I know, I told the council it was effective January 1st.
Moving on to page 4.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, what are we doing with the
Oh, we're gonna
alignment?
vote, I'm sorry. Mr. Cassio wanted to reduce it by 300, correct, Mr. Cassio?
I second it.
You seconded it, roll call?
Councilman Casio,
Yes.
Councilman Sears,
Yes.
Councilman DeSena.
Yes. Page 40, radio expense, $3,000 requested, $3,000 recommended. We didn't buy any radios last year, Mr. DeCarlo?
No, because we still have one on order from the previous year that still hasn't come in.
Any reason we just can't get them, or?
It's like on back order. I asked Bill to, check into it periodically, and they've been ordered since 24. Yeah, 24.
Can we table this to find out?
Yeah, can we get more information on that from Mr. Lawler, why it's taking so long to get radios? We're giving them, new equipment that we're not,
So it was funded for one radio in 25 and we just didn't get it? Is that what it is?
We didn't order any in
We
25,
didn't order it.
but we spent $1,426, which is still encumbered because the radio hasn't come in.
was that the radio from 24 or that radio came in?
That's the radio from 24.
So did we encumber it in 24 or 25?
We encumbered it in 24.
So did we buy radios in 25 or we didn't?
No, we did not buy radios in 25.
Do we need radios? And if we do, why didn't we buy them in 25 when we gave them all this money?
I don't have a good answer for you.
Can we table that until we get an answer from Mr. Lawler, please? Can he prepare a little summary for us of what occurred? If that's okay, Mr. Mayor?
It gives us less than 24 hours, so we'll try, but
We can wait. We want to know why, if we need the radios, why didn't we buy them?
well, correct, is it tomorrow night, the last budget meeting?
Well, we're going to try to make it the last fight. That's our intent is,
Oh, well, I thought you were going to introduce on the 6th, but
again,
maybe okay.
we should have a meeting, 3 nights and so we'll hopefully get an answer. Can we just get an answer?
I can text them. What's the question?
Why didn't we buy, if we needed radio, we put a request in 25 for these radios and we put a request in 24 for these radios and we didn't buy any. So why didn't we buy any? If we need them, we need them, right? We just said we want to better the men and the women of the department by sending them for training. And if they need new radios, they need new radios. So we should buy them for them.
Yeah.
Right? Is that a fair statement?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it is. I think you're trying to use my words against me, and I think it's 2 different things.
No.
Professional development and buying a radio.
No, but they need radios, right?
If you want to unfund it, unfund it. I'll text them.
All right.
You know.
We'll table it till the end and we'll come back to it. Training, it's the same as last year. I'm okay. They spent almost all the money last year in training. I'm okay with it. Everybody okay?
Yep.
Sign expense, are we okay with that amount going down so much, Mr. DeCarlo?
Those are all stops.
Yeah, last year was a stop sign incentive program.
Okay. So we're okay with that, gentlemen?
Yep.
Uniform rentals, that's a contractual agreement.
Yep.
Uniform and safety equipment,
So we got 1350.
I'm okay with that.
you're okay with it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oxygen and fire extinguishers, any reason why we're asking for so much and it's such a low cost, Mr. DeCarlo?
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. What line are we on?
Oxygen and fire extinguishers.
And what was the question?
We only spent $140 last year and we're asking for $2,000.
I mean, that's, generally what we
Is
asked
that
for. I don't know
cyclical?
why.
Is that a cyclical, like every 2
It
year
is,
thing?
it is, isn't it every year?
Extinguishers,
Fire extinguishers are
certificate.
Specialties every year, unfortunately, though, sometimes you may need hydrostatic testing to the extinguisher, which costs more money. Or if you have to replace the
You can't
extinguisher.
take it from the
you're looking at,
audience.
Depending on the extinguisher, anywhere between $500 to $900.
He can't take it from the audience, he can't talk from the audience.
Everybody okay with it?
Well, let me ask you this question, I'm looking for the last 3 years, 4 years, say 3 years. Could they live with 1,500 for this year? Minus 500,
Is that your motion, Mr.?
Yes.
I'll second.
So we're reducing it $500?
yes.
Okay. We have a motion from Mr. Sears, seconded by Mr. Cassio for reducing it to 1,500. Roll call?
Councilman Cassio?
Yes.
Councilman Sears?
Yes,
Councilman DeSena?
Yes. Facilities, maintenance and repairs, 44,000, it went up by 4,000. New window and building department, 4,000, and new sink in men's room in town hall, replacement of water fountain outside council chambers.
$4,000 for a new sink?
No, it's three things. It's
Great.
The
The
window,
window is
the
4,000.
window
Oh.
is $4,000.
I was gonna say.
It has a big crack in the glass lengthwise in the building department, and glass has fallen from it. So-
Is it the entrance window, like when you go to the building department, or is it?
No, it's on,
It's a building window.
Oh, it's a physical building.
Yeah.
Somebody smashed
Oh,
it.
And it's not, you don't think it was broken like by damage or something, Mr. Carl? We can go
no,
ask insurance.
the crack is actually on
On
the
the
inside,
inside
and
pane?
pieces of glass are falling on the inside.
All right. Everybody okay with that?
Yep,
Janitorial supply stays the same as last year. Everybody okay with that? We spent almost that amount.
yep,
Equipment purchases stays the same as last year. Everybody okay with that?
What's that, like hand tools, Mark, and stuff like that?
Let
Rakes,
me just look,
shovels?
sorry, I'm trying to keep up. Yes, all kinds of stuff.
Everybody okay with that?
yep.
Okay.
DPW miscellaneous went up $1,000, increase in drug and alcohol testing, Valley Health System.
Yeah, so all of our stuff, so like our new hires, when they have our, I guess the physical to get hired, and the periodic random drug and alcohol testing went up too. So that extra $1,000 is anticipated to be sucked up all by the drug and alcohol testing.
Mr. DeCarlo, the periodic testing for all our employees, is that randomly generated by, who generates that?
Valley, we contract with Valley, so they'll call me and be like,
Hey, such and such has to show up?
yeah, they'll be like, we're coming tomorrow morning, it's gonna be this person, and,
Oh, they come here and do it?
oh, yeah.
Do they just do particular departments? Like, do they do police,
The police, the
DPW?
police deal with their own stuff, and they have to use the New Jersey State Toxicology Lab. We use Valley is our contractor.
But is that for all employees, DPW?
Just DOT license, just CDL license.
Just CDL? Oh,
Just
so
CDL.
Regular
Oh,
employees
okay.
don't.
So like the seasonals are not part of it.
Oh, okay.
And neither are the admins, like the staff inside the building?
No, it's only someone that will drive a CDL vehicle.
Okay, well, thank you. I just wanted,
Thank you.
I'm okay with it. Everybody okay with it?
Yes,
Drainage repairs, 14,000 requested, which is the same as last year. We spent almost all of it last year. We have been getting them repaired, which is something we need to be doing. So everybody okay with that?
yep.
Other equipment rental, we haven't used this in 2 years. Is this when we were renting the backhoes and stuff, Mr. DeCarlo, or the loaders?
It's another one of those that we keep it there just in case, again, I can't think of a good example right now, but it is a nice buffer to have.
I think it used to be, like if a piece of equipment that we own went down during leaf season for any length of time where we had to rent something during the season to replace it. I believe that was where this came from.
I'm good with it.
Everybody go with it?
Yep.
Tree removal, town property, it's the same as last year, but I was hoping it would come down. I figured we got rid of a lot of the dead canopy. Haven't we done a good job at getting rid of a lot of it, Mr. Sears?
We have done a lot coming down.
Is there still a lot more to come down, or?
I would like to drop it 4,000.
Yeah, I mean, it's storm driven also.
Yeah,
But I remember when we first started this,
Yeah.
there was a lot
We
of
made
dead,
a lot of progress.
yeah, there was a
yes.
lot of dead canopies
Yeah.
all around our
Yeah.
parks and
Not
stuff.
disputing that.
yeah.
So
I would like to-
you want to cut it 4,000,
Yeah.
Mr. Sears? So you make a motion for
I
that?
make a motion to cut 4,000.
I'll second it. So we'll make it as 40,000. Roll call?
Councilman Casio?
Yes.
Councilman Sears?
Yes.
Council President DeSenza?
Yes. Hardware and paint, 2250 is the same as last year. Everybody okay with it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Road repairs, same thing as last year. It's tough to guide, right?
Yes.
Salt and brine. Salt is $78 a ton. Co-op price is $100 to $200 a storm. 50 ton comes from county per event. Brine is 50 cents a gallon, roughly 1,200 gallons a storm. Calcium chloride assists the salt to be more effective at lower temperatures. So we're looking to raise this by $7,500.
And we've already spent
Is that-
12,000.
We've already spent half of 12,000 to date.
And this is still part of the agreement we have with another town?
Well, council just approved the
Hawthorne, right?
brine with Hawthorne.
Okay.
The salt is the county.
And we've spent 12,000 to date as of today on salt and brine.
Yes, sir. So I do have an update, if you don't mind, on, it seems like the radio did come in for the truck. It's not, must be coincidental. I don't think he's lying. And he does say that they would like to buy 2 more this year. I haven't gotten an answer as to why we didn't buy anything last year, though. This was for the DPW radios.
All right, so we'll come back to that.
Okay.
So on salt and brine, everybody okay with the increase to $7,500?
Yes.
We've already spent, Mr. Cassidy, you okay?
Yeah.
All right, moving on, DPW sewer expenses, same as last year, we spent about $8,200 last year. Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Moving on to page 42, DPW street sweeping, 28,000, that's the new contract with our new, with Emerson, right?
We use Emerson the most. They went up $100 this
Do
year.
we still use Paramus when we can, or no, or we don't? we've
They're
stopped using-
in our cadre of options, and so is the county, but we generally use Emerson.
Did it start yesterday as per
It
the,
did, it did, yeah.
Do we know where it
on
started?
Linden. On
What's that?
Linden. On Linden?
on Linden?
And they pay to get rid of the waste, right?
No, we
We
do.
do.
We do. It's part of the fee.
But that's
So-
including that? the
So it's
ton?
5,100 to do it, and then we have to pay to get rid of the waste. But, they do a good job.
Yeah, didn't a resident just email us today or yesterday?
Yeah.
Saying what a good job the person driving did. They had to loop back around because they saw they just didn't pick something up and they did a second pass.
All right, everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Moving on to recycling, salaries and wage, the recycling coordinator, it's an increase of $200. Due to amount of work and responsibility involved, proper completion of this job assures our grants for recycling and clean communities.
I do want to give you some explanation on this. When you see it on the salary chart, I just don't want there to be a misconception. When you see it on the salary ordinance, I'm going to ask, there's 2 people that do it. I'm going to ask for $1,400 for the one because there is significantly more paperwork that individual does. And I'm going to ask for $600 for the second person.
So you're changing this request?
No, I can pay for some of it with our grant.
Oh, okay.
So I only, I didn't want to hit the budget with it. But I also didn't want to rob more money from the grant line. So I'm respectfully requesting to go from 1,000 to 1,200. If we had to pay the county to do this, we're looking at $4,000. So we're, supporting in our 2 employees gets us it for about half the price. The reason why I want to increase for the 1 employee is there is now a responsibility to fill out paperwork for clean communities, which hadn't had to be done. And we have to go back like numerous years. So it's not just a 1-year request. I will continue to ask. Again, it is an increase, but $1,400 is an excellent cost to pay for our person to do it, as in compared to the county that would charge about $4,000 to do it. So I just didn't want you to think that I didn't give you all the information. So this line, I'm only asking for an increase from 1,000 to 1,200. But when you do see the salary ordinance, you will see a total of about 2,000 being spent on this, but 1,200 will be from tax dollars and the other 800 will come from the grant line.
Shouldn't it all come from the grant line?
I mean, it certainly could, but then, then it's like a shell game at a certain point. Then I'll have, like I use the grants to supplement for the brush, the vegetative pickup, and then the recycling pickup. You know what I mean? So.
All right.
I know the new state DEP requirements are more stringent now, and they want us to be more precise in what we're actually picking up. It's just going to get worse with DEP coming down there.
Everybody okay with this?
Yes, I am.
Recycling paper and plastic curb fees. 2026 contract with Gata is $174,000 for curbside pickup. Gata recycling drop-off estimated at $20,000 to be partially offset by the recycling tonnage grant. Can you explain that, Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes, and before I do that, I just do want to thank the council for supporting our recycling coordinators. That is much appreciated. So over the last couple of years, we have supplemented what we've asked for in the budget by unused grant lines for clean communities and the recycling tonnage grant. As I've reported to the council, it's dwindling. So we still have a little bit to supplement, but that's why it has gone up. So this line is for Gata to pick it up. And then we used to bring it to Atlantic Coastal. We made an agreement with Gata to bring it to their facility, and we did that in about September, and we started saving money. So for Gata alone, the contractual price, the bid award is for $174,000, and we're estimating the drop off to be about $20,000. So of course that would be $194,000. But I'll be able to offset that with $10,000 in the recycling tonnage grant, and you'll see that line a little further down. So this is the pickup and drop off of recyclable materials, cans, glass, plastics, etc.
Are we okay with the increase?
I guess we have no other choice.
Why bother recycling? We save a lot of money.
Yeah.
Trash. Paying for it anyway. Yeah, I'm okay.
Are we good? Okay.
We're good.
Leaf and brush disposal fees. This is a big hit. Says need $100,000 to be offset by $45,000 in grants.
Same explanation, sir.
So we're spending $100,000 for the year.
Yes,
Yeah, have we?
that's all.
So last year we got $75,000 in grants. You're saying, Mr. DeCarlo?
Yeah.
So the
We
grants
had unused money in all the unused money from grants for recycling tonnage has been used up. What I'm supplementing with the previous budget line is coming from the budget. There's nothing in the grant lines. The $45,000 that I'm suggesting to supplement for this line, some of it is coming from grant lines and some of it's being introduced in the budget as a clean community grant, meaning it's a grant for this year. And the grant lines were unused grants from previous years. That's what that means.
Has the administration reconsidered dumping down at Sherry Field, the leaves and debris? That would save us a lot of money and time.
You know, we're still looking into the options. That is certainly one of them.
Thank you.
Yep.
Everybody okay with this?
Yes.
Moving on to page 43, recycling green team, $10,500 was requested. We only spent about $8,000 the prior years.
I'm going to drop that
5,000?
500.
Oh, 500. I thought you were.
Tom's taking one for the team, $5,000.
I thought it was.
I really appreciate that.
Yes.
So Mr. Sears has made a motion to reduce it by $500.
Yeah, I'll second it.
Roll call.
Councilman Casio,
Yes.
Councilman Sears,
Yes.
Council President DeSena,
Yes.
The reason why I'm doing that is we got the $600 mini grant from the county.
Well, there you go.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Sears.
So we-
DPW HVAC maintenance and repairs. It's increased from last year, $3,000.
So that's what's anticipated, that's what we spent last year.
Does that include this building? Because we don't have a DPW building, right? That's what was it?
Yeah, it's just under the DPW line, so it's HVAC maintenance and repairs. And this is a control line, so rather than do a transfer because of over encumbering it, the extra expenses that I couldn't pay for in this line were paid for under the DPW facility maintenance line. So I'm trying to fund it appropriately with what's expected to be spent on HVAC repairs. We've already had a bunch in the police department this year. And HVAC is heating and cooling, obviously. And we also paid, I think, $3,900 for the service contract with Whalen and Ives. That comes out of here as well.
Everybody okay with the increase?
I'm good.
Yeah.
DPW equipment, storage rental. Mr. Corcoran, I had a question for you on this. Shouldn't the lease of the property at Bethany go toward the capital expense of the building since it's part of the building construction?
We won't have the money. Remember, I encumbered all the money that was available.
Okay. So that's the 69,600 is the full 1 year lease at Bethany?
Yes,
Or
sir.
is that for,
What? It's for 1 year.
oh, because because it doubled from, I'm thinking of the church lease, yeah. I guess we've gone through these numbers already, gentlemen, so everybody okay with it, since we've already
Yeah.
signed the contract for it? Page 44, first one was done already for police vehicle tires. Fire vehicle tires, the same as last year. They spent about $1,400 last year. They're asking for $1,500 this year. Everybody okay with it?
What are you doing in these trucks now?
Tom can't vote on it, so nobody, as long as we're okay with it, Steve and I are good. DPW vehicles tires, $14,000 is requested and recommended, same as last year. Everybody okay with it?
No. They're really not spending the 14. Right, they're spending 14, 4, 8, and 9. I'll take $2,000 back. I'll make a motion to make it 12.
12,000?
12,000.
I'm good with it.
You'll second it, Mr. Sears?
Yes.
Roll call, Mr. Wachowski?
Councilman Casio,
Yes.
Councilman Sears,
Yes.
Council President DeSena.
Yes. Police vehicles, equipment and repairs, 30,000 requested, 30,000 recommended. We tabled this. If capital is approved for vehicles, can be reduced to 23,000.
The chief he corrected me and said he'd feel at 25. So if you were going to give him the side job vehicles asked for in capital, then he felt comfortable bringing it down 5,000. Otherwise, he respectfully requested to keep it at 30 because.
All right, let's skip this one until we have a full council, because I know that makes sense. Equipment and repairs for fire vehicles, 30,000 requested. They spent a little bit over that last year. I'm okay with it.
I'm fine.
We'll definitely need it.
DPW vehicle equipment and repairs, 95,000 requested. It's a little bit more than last year, but we spent a little bit more last year on budget. Everybody okay with it?
I'm good.
And
The
are there
next-
new vehicles?
No, these are not new vehicles. These are equipment and repairs.
I'm saying, do we have the vehicles where the repairs may be less? That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So if we got new vehicles, there should be less repairs.
We did not. We're waiting for a new garbage truck, but it hasn't come in yet.
When do you anticipate that coming more?
The way we purchased this garbage truck, like the first one we got came really quickly because it was on the line and it was already completely built.
Mhm.
This is coming in two different sections. Like I think it's the body and
Yeah,
the
the
chassis. One of them is in. We're not anticipating getting it maybe until the fall, but again, that could be sooner, it could be later.
All right, so next year we may be able to reduce this.
Okay.
Community Services Act, that's what we make our contribution for the water, fire hydrants, and streetlights in the condo complexes, right, Mr. DeCarlo, right? That's what it
Yes.
says?
Yes.
That's good. Moving on to page 45, Department of Health, the health registrar. That's
It's a salary.
that's a contractual salary?
No. It's a salary line is what I'm telling you. So
All right, let's skip that then. All right, let's skip that. Part-time secretary, all those are meeting fees. We can go to that one, right? So health secretary meeting fees, 170, increase from $125 per meeting to $150 per meeting for consistency. It's a $125 ad. Everybody okay with it?
I'm good.
Thank you.
Moving to page 46. Health office supplies, same. They spent almost 200 last year. Everybody okay with that?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Health dues, meetings and conferences, $25 increase. They spent $391 last year. Can the record reflect that Mr. Ullman joined us at
Hi, Mr. Ullman.
7:45? Good evening, Mr. Ullman. Good evening. We're on page 46, Mr. Ullman, when you get settled. Everybody okay with that line?
Yes.
Health consulting, non-legal, $54,840. That's a contractual with Northwest Bergen.
Yes,
Health-
sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Everybody okay with that?
Did we go out and bid on that for the consultant with anyone else? With Hackensack or?
We didn't go out to bid. So if you don't mind helping me, I know like a
There's
couple
only
years
two
ago.
choices,
Yeah,
The other county.
the county and
Yeah. A couple years ago, they wanted to introduce a very significant increase all at once. And with working with us, they agreed to phase it in over a couple years. So, I mean, I guess professionally, it was very much appreciated as a municipality that they did that. But to specifically answer your question, no, we did not, but I believe it's under a professional service. That's why we didn't have to go out to bid.
Okay, but we haven't checked back with the county, or the county significantly more?
Well, what year, wasn't there like a 3-year agreement?
It is.
it expires this year.
Yeah.
So this is the final year of the 3-year agreement. It's the
Yeah.
final year of the 3-year agreement. All
I
right.
agree, next year we don't think.
All right, child healthcare, well baby clinic. This is something new.
This is all Sue.
Well, we have.
Not that she asked for it, but you'd help me.
Yeah,
Never
no,
seen
no,
that.
we, for a number of years, we had a contract with Hillsdale. They had their child health care contract with us. And they decided I think it was the middle of last year, they decided they were going to do it anymore. So we kind of lost out for anybody to go to this. This is for people who can't afford their medical and they have a place to go. And you
Okay.
get there. It's for up to, I believe, 6 years old, 7 years old. something
I'm
like
okay with it. Everybody okay with it? It's $665. It's a-
that.
Yes.
That's called the Wall Baby Clinic,
Health Advisory Board, 2,500 requested, 2,500 recommended. It's a decrease of $500. What is this for, Mr. DeCarlo, Ms. Witkowski? What is this money for?
Health advisory.
Wasn't this to do like the posters or something last year?
That's like was for the support the mayor's wellness last year.
Wasn't this for the posters,
It was for
the
the black.
black poster or whatever?
Yeah,
That's right.
I forget, there was a reason we couldn't do it. They either stopped doing it under certain circumstances that we didn't meet. Hence, that is part of the reduction. I forget if there's something in the miscellaneous part that better describes.
Make it 15.
No,
Make it-
there was nothing.
Okay.
With us?
We're at the bottom,
Take it
page
down
46.
500.
No, I'm there.
It's been 16 last year.
You're in the audit.
Take it down.
I was looking to see what else was
Keep
there.
it in the meeting.
Just trying to be helpful.
I appreciate that.
Make a motion.
I'll make a motion minus 500.
Okay, $2,000.
Yes.
Anybody second it?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Councilman Casio,
Yes.
Councilman Sears,
Yes.
Councilman Oman,
Yes.
Council President DeSena.
Yes. Top of page 47, Animal Control Officer, $13,620. I guess is a contractual contract, Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Is this for
with the-
Tyco? Is this for Tyco?
It is, but we just, so you know, we add a little bit for the road cleanups when there's a deceased animal on the road. So, most of that, like 99% of that is contractual, but we added a little bit. I think it's $60 to pick up.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, you had $120, so 2 pickups, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
Do I get paid for taking the squirrels off the street? Because I
No,
bury them all the time.
Out of backyards.
no weedies.
Going into recreation, the superintendent's contract is a salary, so we'll skip that. We'll go to teen program, 4,500. Is that the teen program with Westwood, excuse me?
It is.
Is that a
It
contractual amount now with the
And
extra
it's-
hours?
I
and
can't
offering?
tell you it's contractual. Some of it is, so the one contract, 500 of it is for the agreement, we agree to pay, and it's supposed to go towards equipment. What is usually kind of up in the air is how many.
Participants, right?
Yes, so obviously the participants don't pay, but this money goes towards paying, I guess, what you'd call like a counselor.
Yeah.
You know, so it helps to pay. So we pay 40% of the counselor's salaries, and Westwood pays 60%.
Okay. I'm okay with it. Everybody okay with it?
I'm good.
Thank you.
Going to page 48, recreation copier expense, that's a contractual thing.
Yes.
Recreation miscellaneous, 2,000 requested, 2,000 recommended. Everybody okay with that?
3, that's fine. No, I think that's good. I mean, we're
Everybody okay
going
with
to
it?
need more because of the.
Even though it's miscellaneous, it pays for the SNAP. That's $500 off the bat. Allows the individual to go to training, attend the League of Municipalities in the fall, potentially buy supplies. The reason why there's some unspent is he didn't go to the league this last year. You would have seen it closer to the 2,000. It also gives me a buffer when I can't accurately estimate how much the team program is going to be.
All right.
Yeah.
Everybody okay with it?
What does we have a SNAP coordinator?
No, we have a
SNAP
SNAP
program that we do
It's
with
a
Westwood.
special needs assistance program.
Moving on, online registration site, this is for the community pass site, Mr. DePaul?
Yes, sir.
That's
That's
contractual?
a contractual price, yes.
All right. Golden senior activities, 22,500, same as last year. Everybody okay with it?
I'm good with it.
Everybody okay? Senior exercise program, 3,200, same as last year. Everybody okay with it?
I'm good.
Yep. That completes page 48. Moving to page 49. Parks, building maintenance,
Excuse me,
10,000.
Mike?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Just back to the Golden Senior activities.
Yes.
Do we know what's that?
We should have an audit trail, right?
It's yoga.
No, not the one before that. Yoga, I see.
22.5.
Or what did he ask?
Activities.
371000, Golden Senior Activities.
Do we know what, because they're just 2 allocations. Do we know what they use this for?
So, Mayor, if you know a better answer, I can answer you why there's only 2 allocations.
I'll jump in.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay. No, you start and I'll jump in.
Okay, so we do 2 allocations because again, here, in the township, we have the purchasing rules that we have to follow. And what we are seeing over the last couple of years is sometimes events or activities were being scheduled, and then we were getting invoices after the service or the merchandise was acquired, which is against our purchasing rules. We have to have the purchase order beforehand. So what we do is we write the 2 checks. One would be the temporary budget amount, and once the budget is completed, we issue the check to the Golden Seniors. So they manage their money. So
Who manages their money?
the Golden Seniors, they have,
How is that allowed?
because it's an organization. We write the check to them, and they,
And you can equate it to the same what we do for the ambulance contribution.
Oh,
Because also, no disrespect to the seniors, they were having trouble keeping up with all the paperwork that had to be submitted to town. And so it made everyone's life easier, which I know, is
so who
always,
audits that? Does that need to be audited, their account? Because it's a.
again, we don't audit the ambulance once we give it to
But,
them.
no, but
It's-
the ambulance
they're
submits
a
an
legal
audit to us.
entity.
So the seniors.
Golden Seniors are, so we are funding their activity.
Correct.
They get 22.5 from the township, and they operate without oversight.
Correct. And it was, as you can see in the history, it was kind of agreed to in 2023 by that council, that we've been carrying it forward 24, 25. So this isn't anything new. We've been doing it for if you include this year, the past 3 years.
I thought, I apologize, because I thought it was, I know in the past we'd have an audit trail with all the bills and they would add up to a certain amount. I didn't realize this is what it's my bad. But don't we, like what you were saying, Mayor, like the ambulance corps gives us their audit, right? Don't they?
Financial? We never
No,
saw any
no.
finances from
I
them.
thought we did.
No.
Okay. All right.
So can we ask for the financials? Can we ask for what they spent us on?
I guess that would be a Mr. Corcoran question, right?
Well, I think it would be the mayor. To
I
direct
mean,
me.
I mean, we can, but I'd like the council to take a vote on it. I don't want to do it just based on one council member asking for it.
Can't hurt.
What's that?
I mean,
I mean, we can ask for it, I would say going forward. I don't know if they kept records knowing that they were going to have to answer.
I don't mean to put you on the spot, Mr. Sears, but everything you do with the green team, doesn't get spent by the town? Or did we cut you a check to the green?
no, I go through the administration.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted,
We can ask them going forward. I don't think it's reasonable to ask them when they weren't anticipating. It could be a lot of work for their treasurer to recreate something, but if we say going forward, we'd like to see it.
but shouldn't they have a checkbook that shows the expenses going out?
Yeah, but I think they also get income from other places, and so that's what I mean, like it's commingled.
Gotcha.
So if we ask
No, that's
them this
understandable.
year going forward,
I think we could ask for 24 or 20,
We can ask if they don't
25.
have it, they don't have it.
I motion, or however we want to do it, like to ask for the 25 financial activity for the Golden Seniors.
How would they
I don't know how
give
they
that
would.
to us?
How would they do it? They would open the checkbook and
Oh, I
show
see
what
what
they've
you're
done. I mean,
but let's say they had 30 grand in income altogether from other sources, including this. How are they going to identify which 22 was from town spent money?
understanding it's fungible, but, we're funding them at a rate on the assumption that they're using it to fund their activities. I think there should be some transparency there.
Are you concerned there could be a surplus there?
Surplus, I have no idea. I mean, we're giving them basically a blank check for $22,500. I'm just asking what's happening with the money.
I would be okay if they just put together a program of what their anticipated costs were. Like, hey, like this whatever this is going to cost us $1,000, and this is going to cost us a trip here is 8,000. Seasons is going to cost us.
Ask them for a budget per se.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is everybody okay with that? Is everybody okay? Mr. Ullman, is that satisfied?
But again,
Until we get that started?
I don't know that they can do it in time to get this approved.
No.
No.
That's not,
I'm not-
we're gonna approve it anyway this year. Okay, there's no doubt
All
about
right,
it.
but I'll ask them for
I
it.
just like to
I would
have an
like,
idea.
yeah, and then we could ask for more later, but.
Correct, right, okay,
I
that's
mean,
fine.
they do know what programs they did last year, and they should know the estimated cost. Where the money came from at this point doesn't matter. Because like you said,
I mean, if they come back to us and they say they
Commingled.
spent 40,000 last year because they got 17,500 in private donations, that's fine. But
Right.
I think if they spent 15, what did they do with the other 7,500 of the tax money?
I'm fine with that, yeah, okay.
And then, Mr. Ullman, once we get that, we can proceed further.
I mean, it makes sense.
Right? Are you okay with that, or you want to make a motion to ask for it now?
No, I understand what you're asking for.
No, he was talking, so.
I'm talking to Mr. Ullman because Mr. Ullman made a motion, nobody seconded it, but
I'll take the motion off.
I think we could bring it up later, right?
Of course.
All right, parks building maintenance, 10,000 requested, 10,000 recommended. It's the same as last year. We spent 8,200, close to 8,200 last year. Everybody okay with it?
This is for
Building maintenance.
Parks.
I'm good with it.
Everybody else okay with it? Mr. Ullman, you agree with it?
Well, I mean, we spent 2,500 on a deductible. I'm not sure that's going to be recurring. So I assume there was damage and we had to cover something.
I think it was the electrical lines, if I remember correctly, that were damaged on Memorial Field.
For the lights?
Yeah, yeah. It was the guy that was doing the infield rehabilitation.
Yeah. Am I correct? They weren't properly marked out or something?
Yeah, we since fixed the
Right.
So, and I would motion to bring it down to 8,000. Make a motion to bring the line down to 8,000.
From 10?
Reduce it by, you
Yes.
talk, we are,
Reduced by 2?
we're on building maintenance, you're saying?
Correct.
Bring it down to 8,000 or bring it down to 2,000?
Bring it down 2,000
To 8.
to 8,000.
So minus $2,000.
I'll second.
Roll call?
Councilman Casio,
Yes.
Councilman Sears,
Yes.
Councilman Oman,
Yes.
Council President DeSena.
Yes. Park field maintenance expenses, 65,000 requested, 65,000 recommended. It's matching what was actually spent last year. It's need to repair a sprinkler box for $3,000. Do we know where that is, Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes, at Memorial Field, and there may be more than one.
More than one sprinkler box?
There may be, yeah.
Are these field boxes, like in the ground?
Yeah, the sprinkler, but you remember we work off of,
Yeah. That's what shut down summer camp
Well,
sprinklers, right?
yeah.
Well, how did they,
How are they getting damaged so
Yeah.
badly that we need to repair them?
I don't know that it's getting
That is
damaged,
part of
just getting
the
old.
Oh. Everybody okay with the $5,000 increase?
yes.
I'm okay.
This is
Sure.
portable bathrooms. It's a price increase. We spent, so we got a new contract with the bathroom vendor, I guess, with the portable bathroom vendor for an increase.
No, we didn't get a new,
But
Just get new rates, but it's
New
not
rate,
under
yeah.
contract.
Oh,
but
no,
again,
that's okay.
just remember, depending on the weather, we may put them out sooner
And later, yeah.
and later.
Everybody okay with it?
Okay.
Field striping went down $700. Everybody okay with that?
We, I asked why we didn't spend as much, is because we had a surplus of it. The surplus is gone, and we've already spent almost $2,500 this year so far out of that line.
Okay.
All right, I'm good with it.
Everybody okay with it?
Yes.
Library contribution due, the bottom of page 49. It went up $61,000, close to it. That's a contractual,
You see the note on the following page, yeah, it's state formula.
the state formula went up, amount provided by New Jersey state formula based on equalized value.
I hate this thing.
Everybody
And
okay
it's
with
a
it?
good library, it's worth it.
Patronize your library.
Library improvements to buildings, none. Holiday celebrations and remembrances, 9,000 requested, 9,000 recommended. It's the same as last year. Everybody okay with it?
Good with it?
Town Day, 10,000 requested, 10,000 recommended, 5,000 was used last year.
So if you remember, we supplemented it with the trust for celebration of public events.
Yep,
And then so anticipating to use money from that same trust for our 250th celebration, we're now asking to fully fund the town day.
what say you, gentlemen?
I'm good with it. It's a great event.
Was there any thought to combining those days? Town Day and the 250?
Minus 7, exactly.
Mr. Ullman's asking if we wanted to combine the two.
Yeah, that's what Mike was just talking about.
Steve,
Yeah, I was talking about that, you know.
I'm just asking if it was
I mean,
discussed.
it was discussed that, you know, we feel that the 250th deserves its own celebration, and Town Day, you know, has been a 15-year tradition now, plus or minus, that, you know, we're hoping to just make the 250, you know, what it deserves, not take away from Town Day, but give it what it deserves for the 250.
everybody okay with it?
I am.
I'd really like to see it combined, to be quite honest with you, you know. The town is in the United States, so we could all do it together, you know? I think having 2 celebrations might be a little bit, each day would be a little bit less attended because there's 2. So I would tend to think we should just combine it. That's my opinion.
I promise we wouldn't ask again until the 300th celebration.
Peter, you're not going to be here. I'm not going to be here. So you can't ask me.
That's why I said
So,
kidding
thank you very
around.
much. I get it. I get it. I hope I am. It'd be nice. But, so.
All right, moving on.
So we're leaving at 10,000?
Nobody made a motion, so we're moving on. ESB, electricity, what's that?
It's staying.
It's staying, yeah. It's- ESB electricity, 26 requested, 26,000 recommended. PSE&G rate increase. Everybody's seen their electric bills go crazy.
Beyond crazy.
So we spent that much money last year on our electric bills for the ESB building. DBW building, electricity, none. Electricity, streetlights, traffic control devices, PSE&G rate increases, 131,000 recommended and requested. Yes, with Mr. DiCarlo, I have a favor to ask. My pet peeve are lights that we're paying in this line item that are out. So I don't know if we could put a public service announcement, a Nixle announcement for residents to, if you have a street light in front of your house and it's out, we're paying for that street light to be on. And like last night, I walked around the lake and I found 10 of them that are out. And it was darkness, it wasn't early. And it's like, I look at this 131,000 saying, hey, PSE&G is getting this money, whether they're on or off.
Did you get the poll numbers?
I did not have anything to write with, and I'm too busy doing my Tai Chi for my arm, so I couldn't write down.
I think I can respectfully ask the chief of police to see if patrol can look at them.
Yeah, because I mean, like, just around,
Add it to his PSA?
That's what I was
yeah, but
gonna
we do
say.
a PSA also, and maybe put out an alert or something, because it's a shame, because the lights would make a
Put
big
it on the
difference.
e-board.
In the e-board, yeah,
We'll add
right?
it to the PSA that we do at the meeting?
Right.
Yeah, all right.
Do we know anybody from public service that could assist?
We just gotta tell them, they're gonna just say what poll numbers they are, yeah.
Yeah, it's that simple.
Right, that's what they're gonna say, right? What poll numbers are
You
they?
can't climb the pole, Tom.
Yeah, those days are over.
All right. Moving,
Is this electricity?
what's
all
that?
Electricity?
It's everything other than town hall / police.
It's all the
department.
lights on the streets and the traffic
Yes.
signals, Mr. Ullman.
Everything.
Well, so does it include or does it exclude town hall?
It excludes town hall. I believe
Yeah,
I believe
if you see, the line that we started to zero it out, and we combined it
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
in the prior line.
What, did I say something different?
Right, then
No,
we
street
took
lights.
it, we took from here down to there also.
Yeah, we
From
moved
one
traffic
other place
controls
too,
to
then
when we had the old.
Combined a few lines for electricity.
I just want, the only reason I'm looking at the,
No, I'm sorry. It does, it's all electricity except for the ESB. So it's all the playgrounds, recreation grounds, the tall lights at Memorial, all
It's
the,
everything, right?
everything. It's everything. It's
Yeah, because we got rid of all the, except for ESB.
Right.
Yeah.
Moving on, administrative office, telephones, 37,000 requested, 37,000 recommended. It is a reduction. We went over this line last year, Mr. DiCarlo, right? And I guess that
Yes.
a one-time hit or something?
No, it wasn't a one-time hit. We had problems. Remember, we switched from Interglobe to, I can't think of who the new company is right
Something
now.
copper.
Quick Copper.
Yeah.
And we had issues with Interglobe releasing our lines, we'll just say.
Yeah, the phone
So
numbers.
I had to get Miss Bailey involved.
So she charged time for this?
No, it's just, I was anticipating saying, stop paying Interglobe, say March 1st.
Oh, so
It was a
yeah.
double, it was overlap.
Yes, there was overlap and.
So we're not anticipating that.
No.
Everybody okay?
Yep.
That closes out page 51, moving to page 52.
This is all, just so you know too, that's like all internet. We're just calling it the telephone lines. It's all our internet. It's
Okay.
our telephones, our internet lines, our backup internet, all that.
ESB gas.
I think it skipped water. At the top
Water.
of the page.
Oh, sorry, water. Water at the top of page 52, 20,000 recommended, 20,000 requested. It's the bill, pretty much what we spent last year.
Can I tell you something before you vote on this? Not that I'm asking for an increase, but if you remember, Ms. Witkowski sent out, I think, something from Veolia. They're asking for a price increase of almost 10%. And I spoke with our representative. So what they do is they go to, I forget what the
The
board is.
BPU.
What is
The
it?
Board of
BPU.
Public Utilities.
Yeah, Public Utilities Board. You know, obviously they don't know, they're asking like 9.6%. They don't know what it's going to be, but they think if it does go into effect, whatever raise it won't be till September. So I just wanted to
Okay.
advise you that if I may have to ask for, a transfer. or
We may need a
something,
transfer there.
I want you to be aware.
Everybody
But
okay
it
with
did not affect our fire hydrants. So fire hydrant water did not go up when you go back to that.
Okay. 18,000 last year, 20,000 this year due to the increase possibly, so everybody okay with that?
Mark, just a quick question.
Yeah.
Do you know if, when they get your actual numbers, is that gallons used, or is that just
Is it
a rate?
I want to say, I hope I'm not saying something stupid. I think it's almost like measured in cubic feet or something.
Yeah, cubic feet, right?
Yeah.
But I'm saying, are we using like
It's metered.
3 times more?
Well,
To go from
a
6?
lot of this has to do with the fields. So all the fields are in this. So if you remember, the well went down at Memorial for a significant, like, bunch of weeks
Mm-hmm.
during the drought. So we had to use,
Street water.
street water
Right.
at Memorial. So, if anything, I would tell you it's the fields, and depending on what kind of drought there is and how long it is, it's not, I don't see it, from like, all of a sudden we're letting a faucet run or, there's a broken.
No,
pipe.
No, that's not, was my question. Are we using more water now, minus the incident with the fields, than we have in the past?
yes, absolutely. Because we used to not sprinkle any of the fields until Mr. Cumming got involved and we started getting all those repairs made.
What is the condition of the well, the pump and everything? They
It's
work-
was
all
repaired.
fixed
It was
now.
all
It's
repaired,
fixed,
right?
Yeah, that's why you saw some of that expense. I think it was the fields. It was 65,000 last year. We had to spend a bunch of money on the well repair.
Put 2 wells into each field,
They would use-
Memorial and,
They do 1 million gallons of making something up.
All right, moving on, ESB gas natural, 8,000 was spent was the request last year, 11,000 this year based on the expenses and the rate increase from public service. Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Town hall gas, same reasoning, we spent 13,799 last year, they're asking for 14,000. Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Sanitary sewer fees.
You got to reduce that. Sorry, I couldn't wait to say that. You're going to reduce it big time.
Go ahead.
To 941. I think it should be 55,000 if the math is right.
So reducing it 941 minus
So-
55,000.
With that good news, I was wondering if the council wanted to go back to all the lines they reduced and restore them.
What's that?
No, nothing.
You should have let me do that line first, Mark.
All right, everybody okay with that?
Yeah,
Yes.
941 should be the number.
Roll call.
hold on, what line do you want?
Sanitary sewer fees,
Why are you
BCUA.
doing water?
Bottom 52.
Got it, okay, that's.
This is an actual bill that came in, isn't it, Mark?
Yes, so they told me it was supposed to come in the middle of February, and we only got it like when I sent it out to the
It's a
council.
change.
Yeah, but it's something that's coming, it's a bill that was
All right.
received.
Okay,
I
moving
don't think
on.
you have to vote on that one.
Page 53. Sanitary sewers other than BCUA, 75,000. Hillsdale, Paramus, Ridgewood, increase of $75 a unit at 89 units for 75,000. Everybody okay with that? We did police gasoline diesel, fire department gasoline
Are
diesel.
we missing bills?
Yes,
This is the one that always comes late, right? Hillsdale. Hillsdale's always late, right?
yeah, remember I printed this out February 10th, and this was all,
Do we know if it's been, if everything's caught up?
yes, sir, yeah.
Do we know how much we spent?
Just about under the 75,000. I can get you the exact number, but the 75,000 will be accurate because of that.
I remember,
Good,
yeah,
thank
3 years.
We don't have anything coming online with, I don't even know what it's called.
Fillmore.
Fillmore,
Franklin Court.
Yep.
Is that
Oh.
coming online to,
No, it's
The
not gonna-
town?
it won't be in 2026.
but is it the town sewer or is it?
BCU.
No, it'll come to us.
Well, sometimes when it borders, it goes to Hocus or it goes to.
Yeah, no, it'll
But
be.
we pay for it one way or another.
We're gonna pay for it either way, but it's not coming online this year, so.
But the
Yeah,
rates
I don't know
Very
that.
little if it does.
But aren't the rates different between BC and Ridgewood, all those? Rates can vary?
Yes, because we pay different rates to, I believe we pay Hillsdale Prince. I obviously can't find out for this number, but I would imagine the sewer's coming to us.
Can we find out from the engineer where they're going?
Yeah.
Where they're supposed to go? Because we want
If
to.
I remember when I
So you're
looked
talking
at
about Franklin Court,
it. Yeah,
right?
Franklin, if I remember, it
We'll
was
make sure
coming
they
to
go for the
us.
cheapest bidder.
I believe it's coming to us.
Not bidder, but. I remember there was some that.
All right, fire department, gasoline, diesel, 6,000 requested, 6,000 recommended. It's the same as last year. Everybody okay with it?
I have to recuse.
Yes, you have to, we're not changing it, so it's fine. Everybody want to change it? Okay. DBW, gasoline, diesel, reduction of $2,000. Everybody okay with it?
We're
down here.
DPW, gasoline, diesel.
460.03.
Yep.
Everybody all right with it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was DPW.
Solid waste.
Solid waste usage, BCUA monthly fees, 82,000. Is that a contractual agreement, Mr. DeCarlo?
No, but this is our debris week. So like this is when, they drop off when the yard's open. This is our pickups once a month starting in April. So it's solid waste, exactly.
So it starts next week, right?
First
Yes,
whole
next
week in April.
Yeah, so
Yes.
So not, yeah, next week,
Yeah,
yeah.
next week.
So residents, bulk pickup and leaf pickup and debris pickup starts next week. Statutory expense PERS, this is a
Exact number.
exact number, okay.
Yeah.
Everybody okay with that? DCRP pension, permanent part-timers that make more than $5,000, work less than 32 hours, and does not include seasonal employees, township contributes 5%. So this is a,
It's kind of an estimate based
Yep.
on what we expect to pay.
everybody
this
okay
year.
with that? State expenditures, FICA, Social Security, and Medicare, 300,000. That's a bill, Mr. DeCarlo, I guess?
No, again, this is another one, kind of like an
Yeah.
estimate, but you figure it's 10% of everyone's salary, so to speak.
The next one is state
Exact number.
expenditures per PFRS, that's a contract, that's an
That's
actual
the
amount.
exact number, yes, sir.
Municipal Alliance, match municipal share, 11,000 requested, 11,000 recommended. They used almost all that money last year. Everybody okay with that?
yep.
That's it on page 55. Page 56, Chapter 159, Community Energy Grant, Sustainable Jersey Energy Outreach Grant, $1,920.
Yes, so it's on the revenue side. So, it's a wash. We just need to introduce it into the budget so we can use it.
So all the next items are all washes, I believe, right? Yeah, because we have the open space grant, offset and revenue, right? That's what the note says.
Yes.
So
So the 1920's a
2024,
wash, the 80,700's a wash.
hold on, let me just, so the 80,700's a wash, right, because it's offset and revenue, right?
Yes, sir.
The 14,398 is offset in revenue,
Yes.
the recycling tonnage grant.
Yep.
That completes 56. Moving to 57, body armor grant, offset in revenue is 2 years worth, $4,914. That's an offset, right?
Yes.
Matching funds for grants, nothing. Clean Communities grant is offset in revenue, so I guess we got a $24,400 grant.
Yep.
Went down as always, right?
Yeah. They're always like a couple years behind. I don't really know how to explain it, but that's the exact check that we got in for that and for recycling tonnage grant.
That takes care of the end of page 57. Moving to page 58, Bergen County JIF, offset in revenue, $1,750. That's just pass through, right?
Yes.
That takes care of page 58. Page 59, municipal court shared services, negotiated lower shared service agreement would have been $127,500. They lowered it from 117 to 100,000. Everybody okay with that? That's a contract now, right?
Yeah, hope you're okay with it.
Yeah.
Everyone sign
That
off.
takes care of page 59. Page 60, there is nothing on page 60.
You're going to skip that one.
What's that?
You'll skip capital improvement fund until you,
Yeah, capital improvement fund we'll come back to. Reserve for ambulance, $10,000. Everybody okay with that? 903, 200?
They seem to be looking for more money based on that letter that was included with the budget.
I think they're, like, you mean for what the contribution is?
Can the record
I think
reflect
they're
Mr.
looking maybe
Lestrange's
for
at 820?
LoSAP, which I do have a proposal for the council when we get to the LoSAP line.
Thank you.
So everybody's okay with the 10,000 on page 61, moving to page 62. Oh, sorry, Mike, you're still on. Go ahead.
Didn't we, excuse me,
You do have a letter from the ambulance
wasn't
corps.
the ambulance corps, didn't they provide a letter? And it discussed their challenges.
This is in the book, or
Yes, it's in the
Hold on.
miscellaneous section.
it's in the miscellaneous section of the book?
It should be towards the end. 'Cause
Is it on the ambulance corps or no?
Oh, no, was the ambulance corps one of the ones I sent
I
afterwards?
think so.
Yeah, I don't know where it is in your book.
Mr. Ullman, if you have it in front of you, could you read it? Can you tell us what it is?
It's a two-page
It's a lengthy document.
Oh, it's only, can you just tell us what number you're looking at that they asked for that we're not funding for?
I don't remember them asking. Go ahead, Mr. Ullman, I'm sorry.
If you can bear with me, I can recall that we received a letter. I don't recall.
So I remember, I'm gonna find it, but I remember the
Yeah.
letter being that asking for a LoSAP increase, which I was prepared to discuss with council during LoSAP.
Oh,
We came in like afterwards, so.
yeah, if you can give it to Mike.
This one?
Yes, that one.
He's over here, that's-
Can we take a 5-minute recess and make copies of it? Is everybody okay with that? Because I don't have it. Everybody have it? I don't have it here.
Oh, here, it's,
Do you,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you're gonna really want to
do
copy.
you want to read it?
It's toward the back more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm willing to give mine to whoever wants to read it, but it's a front and back, and then like,
Yeah, it's 2.5 pages, 2 1/3.
Anybody want my copy?
It's tainted.
It doesn't even.
So they're not asking, they only want a LoSAP adjustment?
yeah, they're asking for a LoSAP adjustment. I think the gist of the letter is them supporting what they do, like facts of support, the volunteer work that they do, how many hours, how many calls. In addition to that, they provided standby, a list of events that are here. And then they kind of say that if we had given yearly LoSAP since the beginning, it would be up to a higher amount, which they feel would have been a greater incentive to, attract and appeal.
But that wasn't our fault that we didn't.
No, not at all. But in response to that, when we got to the LoSAP line, I had a proposal for council to consider, but not on this line.
So this line we're okay with. Mr. Ullman, you okay with this line now that you read it, or are you still need to read it again?
That's fine.
Thank
All
you.
right, moving on, that's it on page 61.
No, Mike, I think the bottom. Debt
Oh, I'm
service.
sorry, yeah, debt service.
Yeah, nice try on that.
1,190,000, that's contractual, right? So
Yeah, I mean, it's not contractual, but
The
well,
actual amount
essentially,
owed.
yes.
we owe that money.
We owe that money.
That's the credit card bill that's due.
Yes.
Moving on to page 62, there's another debt service of $927,509.
And that's interest.
That's interest only, so it's a
Yeah, the
lot of
first one
money.
was principal. This is interest.
And then just understand 98,000, so we're asking to fund that line with 927,509. On the revenue side, we're introducing a revenue of 98,314 cents, which, in theory would bring that 927 down, but I need that full amount because that's where we pay from. So the interest that the town will actually pay is 927,509 minus the 98,300. The 98,300 comes from the premium. I don't know how to explain that, if Mr. Corcoran wants to, but that, apparently we got a premium when we borrowed the money in July. I don't know how to explain why, but if Mr. Corcoran wants to give it a stab.
Yes, that's basically the premium that we received on the van from 24. So since it's more than what the price was, you're able to offset that as a revenue. But you still have the budget, like Mark said, you still have the budget the whole amount.
The 927,509.
He meant to
Yes.
say 25. He meant to say when we borrowed in 25.
Is
I'm sorry, I meant to say, because on here says 24 is actually 25.
it recurring?
No, so what we'll do is, when budget's over, we'll switch to, when you guys and girls approve the capital, we're then, and the budget's over, we're then going to ask Acacia to come in and do another presentation. So if you remember, we're going to roll over the 2025 ban 3 years before we do permanent borrowing, right? So the next 3 years, we're going to, the plan is to just pay the interest. We'll probably make that adjustment to, based on the money that came in for 450 Pascack. I don't know when we'll get the money actually for the Musquappsink Brook. We probably won't get it from July, but essentially we're going to borrow less than we did last year, but the council needs to make a decision so we're going to bond the new capital if we want to borrow that money now
All right.
and roll it over.
Okay.
So that, hopefully that answers your question.
Well, I
If I
guess,
could just add one thing to that real quick. The reason why we're rolling over the ban for up to 3 years is because 2028 would be the last year that you see the 2019 bond in the budget. So that'll be off the books after 2028. So that was part of the thinking behind why we wanted to do that with the ban.
I guess my question is the premium, we're taking it into revenue, but it's a one-time
Yeah.
event. Can that be earmarked, or does that go into, is this just a fungible balance of revenue?
No, it's a one-time event, but keep in mind too, moving forward, I'm pretty confident that number is going to go down. So, it's not like you get that every year. It's basically a one-time event.
Understood, but we're going to raise next year, if we take it into revenue this year, into general fund, next year, we're going to have to raise, we're short $100,000 to start.
I don't think so. That's why I explained, I don't know how to really explain it, but we received that money, that 98,000. So essentially we're paying it back. So we held it and we put it in an account for the year until we have to pay it back. That's why I have no idea to explain why they would give us this money to have to pay it back. But, Acacia obviously can as part of their presentation. I understand what you're saying, and I don't think that's the case unless when we borrow money again in July, if they give us another premium that we just have to pay back the following year.
Yeah, we don't get that in bans, only on permanent bond is the premium.
No, I'm sorry, what do you?
We don't get a premium when we borrow money via a ban, only via a bond.
No, that's when we did get the premium, when we borrowed the ban.
Okay. Right, I stand corrected.
Actually, we've gotten that for all three of these. We've gotten premiums for all three of these.
Yeah, I should have said that. I don't know about the bond.
Okay.
But I know we got that for the.
Okay, my mistake.
Because initially the money goes into the capital account, but then afterwards you're able to realize there's a revenue at internal.
We good with this? You don't like it, Mr. Ullman?
It's not that I don't like it. I mean,
It creates a
I think we're
shortfall.
I think we're going to have a bill to service our debt for $927,000.
We are.
So we have to pay that.
Yeah.
My question again, and it doesn't sound like, we'll have complete visibility to it this evening, is the 98, if it's not recurring, I would say that we're going to be next year,
Short 98,000.
we start $100,000 in the hole. Mr. DiCarlo does not believe that to be correct. I don't think either of us are, versed enough in this to say yes or no. So I think we should ask someone who does know.
And I have no problem with that, but it's, respectfully, it doesn't change the 927,509. So we have to pay $421,608.03.
Completely agree.
But I will have that
Yeah,
explanation.
occasion.
Yeah.
If I could add one thing too, I understand what you're saying when you say we're not getting it every year, and we're not, but we will be able to tell, I mean, I can't do it right this second, but, we could at some point look and see, for 27, what this number's gonna be. Because there's a good chance it might be lower, so I guess what I'm trying to say is you're not gonna feel the whole hit, you're not gonna feel that whole amount, I don't believe. Don't quote me, but I can eventually get those numbers for you, if need be.
All right. Thank you.
Sure.
That completes everything on page 62. On page 63, we have reserved for uncollected taxes, 635,000 requested, 635,000 recommended. Everybody okay with it?
Yes.
Good?
They don't anticipate any impact with the revaluation?
No, this is all based on a formula based on, a bunch of things. I don't have the list off the top of my head, but, we consistently feel this is the appropriate amount to budget for. It might be a runaround to your question, but discussing it with Lurch Vinci Bliss, this is the appropriate number.
They run that formula every year, Mark?
Yes, sir. It's
That's
all
based on the new amount of.
Yeah, I feel it's like it's on the tip of my tongue, but it's, it has to do with, the collection rate, has to do with add-ins. It's a whole big formula to figure it out.
Do we know what amount of uncollected taxes we have now?
We are pretty good. I think, do you remember getting, hopefully the council got the tax collector's report. I don't have it, but
Yeah, we did.
it's a really good.
It's a really high number.
Yeah.
We only have like one or two people that don't pay their taxes. So.
Yeah. But again, it's this amount is to assure that we have to pay the school and we have to pay the county. They don't care if people
Yeah.
pay us or not.
Correct.
So this amount is to make sure that we can pay our bills after definitely paying the county and the school.
All right.
Mm,
Everybody good with it?
I'm good.
That completes page 63 and page 64. So what I'd like to do is I spoke
I said, woo-hoo.
I spoke to Mr. DiCarlo earlier today. I know at the last meeting, we had talked about the capital budget, so I'd like to go through the capital request and get the council's opinion on whether we leave some of the items in capital or do we move them to the current budget based on what we were told at the last meeting.
Excuse me, Mike, could you just correct me if I'm wrong? Now that you have all five, did you want to go back and do fire before capital, or did you skip that because you only had three?
Yes, we did. You're right. Let's go back. Give me 1 second. I like looking at Mr. Gillius and the cheat. Yeah, come on. I think it was page 43, right?
33.
33?
Well, 33 starts with a salary. Oh, no, we have to do fire prevention.
Yeah,
No, you have to do ambulance first.
Okay.
Yeah, first aid contribution, yeah. So
32.
bottom of page 32 is where we stopped.
This is
We
going
have a
crazy.
whole group up here. So bottom of page 32, first aid organization contribution, 40,000 requested, 40,000 recommended. Everybody okay with it?
32.
Yeah, the last item on page 32. Everybody okay with it?
Yes.
Continuing on page 33, the line item is above ambulance JIF premiums, $6,366. I guess that's a
Exact amount, sir.
exact amount.
Yes.
Everybody okay with it? Fire prevention, salaries and wages. Are these exact numbers, Mr. DiCarlo?
Well, it's a salary, so it was based on our recommendation, but if you want to skip that and go
We'll
to
skip that. Yeah, we'll
miscellaneous.
skip that to go to miscellaneous expense. Fire prevention miscellaneous expense, 4,200 requested and recommended. That's what was requested last year. Everybody okay with it?
Yeah, just going back to 2022, why did it go up so much for that line? Went from 15 to 45. So that's a $3,000 jump. Though it's been consistent.
Where are you, sir?
If you go back to line 500 there, right? So
Wasn't there,
in
didn't somebody pass
2022
away, didn't somebody pass away during that year and he didn't work?
I don't remember. I don't know if that's when he went to the Enforces system for the fire department.
But didn't somebody?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, one of
I
the
did too,
inspectors
22.
died.
That's,
still-
but that's building, that's fire prevention.
Yeah, but didn't somebody in fire prevention pass away?
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought the gentleman passed away.
Yeah, but that probably would have been for
That wouldn't
the
affect
salary
the-
and wages.
That wouldn't be in here. This is.
If he wasn't working, unfortunately.
No,
Building
this
department.
is
Miscellaneous.
this is operating.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a 2,000, to Mr. DeCarlo's point, for Enforces, there's a $2,000 expense, a single item,
All
so
right, and that's a recurring bill, right? That's every year, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
it says annual.
All right, everybody okay with it?
yep.
4,200. Fire department direct, that's a salary. Fire department office supplies, 700 requested, 700 recommended. It's the same as last year. Everybody okay with it? Dues, meetings, and conferences, 1,000 requested, 1,000 recommended. Everybody okay with it?
So before we continue, guys, go on.
Go.
We talked about the ambulance and the Golden Seniors being sort of entities outside of the town. Is the fire department an entity outside the town?
No, they're within the town.
They're within the town. Okay. Just making sure. Thank you.
So meetings, dues, and conferences, 1,000 requested, 1,000 recommended, same as last year. Everybody okay with it? Moving down, office equipment and furniture, 1,500 requested, 1,500 recommended. Everybody okay with it?
Yes.
Radio expense, $9,500. Everybody okay with it?
Yeah.
We dispatch services, we raised it, it was requested to be made $42.75, correct, Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes, sir.
That's what we already discussed this.
You want to maybe take a vote on that?
Well, it's not, it's their request. We didn't take a vote on the last time we
It's the
changed it.
admin's request?
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, no vote.
Everybody okay with $42.75?
Yes.
All right. Training, $4,500. Same as last year. Department uniform and safety equipment, 12,000 requested, 12,000 recommended, same as last year. Oxygen and fire extinguishers, $1,200, same as last year. They spent almost $1,100 last year. The new recommend for building maintenance from the administration is $35,900. One-time expense of $10,200.
Remember, council asked us to go back and get a fresh set of quotes and then to also ask the ambulance department. So I'm grateful that we did that because their quotes did change based on the cost of things. So the original quotes went up very insignificantly, maybe 100 here, 100 there. The council did get it, but to add in the extra fan in the the ambulance side is like another $3,912 exactly. I'm just asking to round it up to 40,000 if,
So the new request is 40,000,
yes.
and that takes care of the ambulance also.
Yes, sir.
So we do think of them, see?
Would you be able to update the note to the
Yeah,
one
one
time?
time, yeah, it'd be 14,000, right? 14,100 then?
So next year, when I say,
Yeah, you're going to have me.
why is it there? I could say, well, it's a one time, so it shouldn't be there.
So I'm glad that, thank you, Mr. DeCarlo, for doing the work. I'm glad we did think of the ambulance corps and get them a fan also, since it's the same problem on both sides. So hopefully it'll rectify the issues on both sides. Thank you, Mr. DeCarlo.
It was actually Fire Chief Ayala that got the information.
Thank you, Fire Chief Ayala.
If he wasn't here, I would have took the credit, but he's right in the audience.
That's why I was laughing.
You wanted to see what I was going to do, didn't you?
Everybody good with it?
Thank you.
Yes.
Equipment,
What's the final number? Mike?
$40,000 is the request and recommend. Fire department equipment purchases, 5,000 requested, same as last year. Fire department miscellaneous, $1,500 requested and recommended, same as last year. We did transfer in 4,000 here last year, right, Mr.?
Yeah, but it wasn't necessarily spent in miscellaneous. That was just a line that the CFO put it in because it's all same control.
All right. Moving down, inspections and chief dinner, we're going from $6,500 to $11,000. This is chief's installment dinner. Everybody okay with that?
What didn't we do?
If you remember, it's in, the fire department went from an every year ask of the higher amount to do at the seasons to an every other year. And I think that coincides with the promotion of a chief when it's conducted at seasons. So obviously that's a little bit more expensive. And then when it's the mid-year, it was done at the firehouse, which is a little less expensive.
Correct.
And I believe the seasons actually is not all taxpayers. It's supplemented by their fire department organization. I'm not sure what it's called. So it does cost more than $11,000. So
So next year, we would see,
I imagine the 6,500
6,500
or
or
something. Plus or
7,000.
minus.
okay.
All right, everybody okay with it?
Thank you.
Moving on, hardware and parts, 1,500 requested, 1,500 recommended. Same as last year, they spent about $100 more last year. Everybody's okay with it. Fire department clothing allowance, 47,500 requested and recommended. Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
That's a
That's an
calculated,
ordinance.
that's a calculated
Yes.
thing passed
So-
based on the ordinance that we.
Right, and you'll see that ordinance Monday night.
Okay, thank
We're
you.
not asking to change it.
Okay. Fire prevention maintenance trucks, 7,500 requested, 7,500 recommended. Everybody okay with that? Fire hose pump and ladder testing, $5,800. Same as last year. We spent about $5,400 to have it done. Fire department turnout gear, 25,000 requested, 25,000 recommended. Money well worth it.
Is this,
Chief, can I ask the chief to come up for a second? I didn't mean to put you on the spot. Chief, we're doing a rolling replacement of turnout gear, right? So we're not like we're buying it as we need it, or like, I just want to make sure we don't have a big hit that a lot of people need turnout gear. I thought that's why we did it.
It's
Right?
absolutely as needed. It's also, I mean, if we get a new member in,
Yes.
within the next year, we have to get him gear. We have a certain amount of older gear that we can supplement to these guys, but it only lasts so long and then it expires and we have to, get rid of it and then,
But by keeping this funded, we're constantly replacing gear so we don't have a one-time hit of like, hey, we need
100%.
everybody needs turnout gear.
5 different guys every year. Well, I mean, it used to be up to 7 different guys, but because of increases,
of course.
I haven't asked for more money. I just cut it down to 5 guys and just keep rolling.
But we're being proactive and rolling it, so we're not going to get hit with like, you're going to come to anybody on this day and say, I need $100,000 because I have all this gear expiring. That's
I
all.
hope not. I hope that never comes.
Thank you. It's the answer we wanted to hear. Thank you, Chief. Fire Scott Pack compliance, 2,500 recommended. Went up a little bit from last year. Everybody okay with it?
Yeah.
Fire internet, $3,300. I guess that's the bill, right, Mr. DeCarlo?
I believe so, yes, or close to it.
Fire hydrant service, $168,000. This is the bill from Veolia, right?
Yes, I confirm that the price did not change from last year.
And we confirm that they are doing their annual testing of all their hydrants in town?
I believe that's what they said on the email.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd like to see when they did the ones across the street from me because my camera has not found them yet. Length of service awards, LoSAP.
Oh, you skipped one, sir.
Oh, physicals, excuse me. 1,400 requested, it went down 600 from last year. Everybody okay with that? Length of service award programs, 95,000. Everybody okay with that?
If you don't mind me taking the floor on this one.
Sure.
Sue, thank you for putting that supporting documentation in the packet. It was in this evening. The resolution is essentially a draft that we want to put before the council on Monday night. So every year, and Ms. Lukowski has the LFN, the local finance notice, in support of the resolution. Every year, we can do a CPI, a consumer price index adjustment. In the LFN, it's allowing for a 3.3% increase. So LoSAP would be increased $42.65, but it would be for this time next year. And we could do this increase and not have to increase the budget line. So I was hoping to gain council's support on that increase with the resolution, and I would have that ready for you on Monday night.
Okay. Everybody okay with that? Mr. Sears, you can't vote on it.
is that per person?
Yeah,
The mix
Yes.
of credits.
Yeah.
Yes, the $42.65 is per person. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, this question was asked. So I know like the fire department submits a certified LoSAP report, right? I guess who prepares that? Like the chief or is there a group in the fire department so like, yeah, if you don't mind, chief. Just so we can answer the rest, because somebody asked, how does it get calculated? And I said, I don't know.
So
I know it's due based on your calls you make, right?
LoSAP is, was placed by ordinance. There's actually categories of how to get your points.
Yeah.
Each member must get 100 points by the end of the calendar year. Not everyone makes it every year, since you can see in the budget. So there is a max amount of points that you can get in each category, whether it's from fire calls or meetings or drills. We actually sat down with former mayor, at the time and went through it all with them because at the time they thought it was a little too easy to get it, so they made it a little harder. In which case now, where we're at. So you only get it if you get the points. It's really what it comes down to.
But everybody that tagged, like that system that keeps track of it is basically spitting out a report at the end of the year.
Yes, so
that's why that system's so important. So once you clock in, it says, hey, Chief Aiello's here, he's on, you're always there, but.
It keeps track of their percentages, which is just a small part of tracking LoSAP. My deputy chief is our LoSAP officer, and he is, in charge of every year. He provides all the numbers to the director, then the director then provides them to the town. And then there's always questions coming back and forth, and we just make sure that everything is jiving the way it should.
Perfect.
Do you feel it's still driving the correct behavior or the behavior we would want? So I think when it was last reviewed, which I participated in, the idea was there were required functions that firefighters needed to partake in. But the primary goal of the fire department is to answer fires. So are people qualifying and not answering calls, I guess is the question. So are we getting the behavior that they're being rewarded for?
If our members do not show up to fire calls, they will not qualify for LoSAP, nor will they qualify for their clothing allowances either.
Neither one they would qualify for.
No, you
need to
fire calls take a big hit on your credits and LoSAP. Those are two of your biggest categories to get your points.
So I guess Mr. Allman's correct in what he's saying is it is working to their benefit. Right, is that your question, right?
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I got out of your question.
It's a incentive for guys to show up.
Yes.
Look, we don't do it for the money. We do it because we love it, and we do it for community service. Sure. Yes, it is a nice incentive to know that.
Absolutely.
I have a LoSAP, Length of Service Reward Program, 401k that it's like a little something that the town's giving to me to for my community service.
Absolutely.
Fully agree. It's just, I think before we did the last revision, there were sort of academic credits, for lack of a better term, and people were loading up the academic credits and not the active credits. So as long as.
Yes, you're correct. There was no limit on training classes, and guys were loading up on training classes to get their points, which is, that again, now there is a max of a certain amount of points. I don't know it off the top of my head. But each category has a max. I know like meetings has a max of 12 points, and so we have one meeting a month, and
You're not getting your neither one, your clothing allowance or your LoSAP if you just make that.
No. So
Thank you.
fire calls are a big thing.
Any other questions for the chief while he's up? Mr. Allman, anything else?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, chief. Everybody okay with LoSAP then? That's it for now for the budget except for salaries and wages. Let's go to capital. So I guess
There was a couple of stragglers at the beginning.
yeah, but we'll just
Want
catch
those tomorrow night?
those tomorrow night.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll take So if we go to a 3-year capital plan that was submitted. start at the top, right? Engineering services for 2026 roads. 2026, the request was $1,290,000 for capital, $138,000 grant for the 2026 NJDOT roads. Everybody okay with that? Good with that, gentlemen and ladies?
Yes.
So the 1.290 is
Yep.
approved and the
Yes.
138 is approved?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Moving down to police, we have police 2 Tahoes at $90,000 each and 3 Mavericks at $36,000 each for a total of $298,000. I know we talked about this last week, and I don't think it should be in capital. It should, if we're going to buy vehicles, we should be buying them in the budget. I know Mr. Corcoran agreed with that last week. So I think we should put this back. If we're going to fund it, it should go back into the budget. Because the interest that we're paying on these through the years is, we're paying, we're buying $500,000 trucks by the time we're done paying for these or more.
We're going to discuss giving them 1, 2.
I'm
Should discuss putting it into capital first.
First question is
Capital.
taking it out of capital, and second question is, are we giving them the 2 Tahoes and the 3 Mavericks? Right? I guess the first question is, does council want to put this back into a budget?
Mike, if I could just make a quick comment. If you remember on the outside vehicles, the chief did say that they could probably get a 10-year lifespan. So maybe on those you want to capitalize, but on the patrol cars, I'm just throwing out something for you guys to consider.
I was going to make them, I was not going to buy the Mavericks, so I was.
Well, if you did, I didn't know where you had it or not.
That was I think we have plenty of patrol vehicles that we don't need the Mavericks at this time, but that's up to the rest of the council. So I guess the first question for council is do we move it back into the budget?
I'm okay with that.
I'd say move it back to.
Move it back? Ms. Willett, you said you're okay with it?
Yes.
Mr. Sears, you're okay with it?
Yes.
Mr. Ullman, you okay with moving it back into the budget? All right, second question is are we funding these 2 lines?
Well, I'll start. So again, I think we have enough vehicles for service work, so I would take out the Mavericks.
So you're making a motion not to, or
Not to not.
do we have to make a motion for this, or it's capital?
Well, let me finish and then I can make.
No, I'm asking Sue if we need to make motions here or not.
I'll let him finish saying his thing and then we'll pull it apart.
Say my thing.
Say your thing.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Say your
That's
thing.
it.
And then fund one Tahoe at $90,000 in the current budget. That's my proposal.
So you want to get rid of the 3 Mavericks and fund only 1 Tahoe?
So that's my motion. Put it into the current budget.
Would we entertain maybe 2 vehicles, 2 Mavericks, to see how that pans out across this year? I mean, I agree 3's not, it's a little excessive, but.
I'm a no for the Mavericks, so I'll second Dr. Cassio's. I'll second Dr. Cassio's of buying 1 Tahoe and no Mavericks. Roll call.
Councilman Cassio,
Yes.
Councilman Sears,
Yes.
Councilman Ullman,
No.
Councilwoman Velez,
No,
no?
no.
Council President DeSena.
Yes. We good?
Yeah, we got 3.
Well, are you good? Because moving this back into operating, it went from a 0 recommend to now a higher. Do you need 4 votes? I just want to make sure you get it right. I'm not looking to change what you did, but I just don't know.
Mr. Corcoran, do we need 4?
I don't think so, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't think you need 2/3, but I'm not 100% though.
Mr. Corcoran, to increase a recommendation.
But
of
there is no
the mayor's-
recommendation because we're moving it.
Right, so
So it's
technically,
going from
Yeah.
0 to something.
Yeah, you're taking it from one
Okay.
budget
So it
to
fails.
another.
So if it's 4, then if we need 4, it fails. Anybody else want to discuss any
did you
other?
have a different idea, Mr. Ullman, or?
Yeah, I mean, I was opposed to providing the outside billing vehicles.
You were opposed or, I didn't hear you.
I was opposed to it. I certainly think one Tahoe, if we provide a
But
single
that's what we just
Tahoe.
voted on.
Yes, but I reconsidered, or, I would reconsider putting in one outside vehicle and see how it works and see what the usage is and see what the savings are that was proposed.
I
So
would
that would be
support
my, I would motion
1 and 1.
one Tahoe and one outside vehicle
I'll second that.
to the current
Roll
line.
call.
And then Ms. Velez second. So one Tahoe and one outside vehicle, correct?
Yes.
That's correct.
Councilman Cassium?
No.
No. Councilman Sears?
No.
Councilman Oman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez?
Yes.
Council President DeSena?
No. Let's move on, we'll come back to it. Equipment, fire department, the QuantiFit machine, I think we should fund in the budget, and the same thing with the emergency vehicle warning system, it should just be put into the budget.
The QuantiFit was for next year, sir. They removed it.
Oh, it got moved? I didn't. I don't
Yeah, are
have
you
that
looking at the
I'm looking at-
revised?
Mine is at 20,
There
mine's,
was an updated version that came out on 29.
I didn't get that one.
Or something.
all right, I don't
Yeah,
know.
they removed it and are gonna ask for it next year.
So we're just asking for the
20,000, and
I-
again, I can fund that with cash on hand.
all right, so we don't have to do anything then?
Well, it will still have to be in my ordinance, but yeah, you have to tell me you approve it, and I'm gonna use,
I'm
we don't
okay.
have to borrow the money. I have it in capital fund balance.
So that's the two, these are for the two flashing lights on both sides of the street on Washington Ave when they leave and come into the station, and to buy remotes for the ambulance corps and the police and the fire department. So this way they can get in and out.
But they don't want the fit testing machine.
They're gonna buy it next year, they said.
To 2027, correct?
2027, that's what Mr. DeCarlo said.
That was gonna save us some money from going out.
If I may.
Come on up, Chief Highland.
Why don't you have a seat, chief? Just sit.
No, it's quite all right. Originally, I asked for this, and as I told you at the last meeting, is that we want to export grants, so
Yep.
the grant writer gave us a bunch of grants that we can put in for.
All right, so we'll move it to
I-
2027.
So I would like to push it off to 2027 just to export grants, and hopefully I can, even if
Offset.
I get something for, half the cost paid for, it saves taxpayer dollars.
I mean, I think that's something that we should not rely on other people because apparently we have trouble getting it, right, chief?
It's not that we have trouble getting it. We get use of it for 1 month out of the year from our Passaic Valley dues that we pay out of
Right.
$1,000. Currently, right now, I'm trying to chase down the machine because I just got a new member on last night,
Awesome.
and I'm trying to find what department has it and when I can get them in to get them fit tested.
in the budget.
So
Well, he's saying he doesn't want it. You can't vote on this.
I can vote on the lights, but I can't
No,
vote
you
on
can't vote on
this.
the lights either.
Oh, emergency service building, not the firehouse.
Oh, that's, okay. That's good.
Mm.
So honestly, it's up to you guys what you would like to do, but that's where.
If it's required, I'd like to put it into the budget, but if you're saying you're gonna do research till next year and you'll be able to make do till next year, I'm okay with it.
I'd like to explore some grants.
Thank
and
you.
See if we can do it. Thank you.
Does that answer everybody's question on that? So let's move to 2027. I'd like to get the emergency warning system lights funded because it's something they need. I think we've needed it since the building went up. It was included in the original plan. I don't know what happened to it, but let's get it done. So I'm okay with saying yes to that. Everybody okay saying yes to that?
Yes.
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 Are we okay? Ms. Velez, you okay?
Yes.
Mr. Cassio, you okay?
Definitely.
Mr. Ullman, you okay?
Yes.
I'm okay. We have 4 votes. We don't need Mr. Sears' vote, so it's good.
Sorry, Tom, we don't need you.
I just want to make sure. It's all nothing to fire, even though it's for the building. So, all right. Police. I don't think we should be putting rifles into capital. If the chief says we need the rifles, I say we just buy them in this year's budget. So,
I'll have that ready for you tomorrow. I know where to put it. You didn't vote on the line already, so it's the guns and ammo line. You
so you're
tabled
just
it.
gonna, okay.
Yeah, so I'll have that
All right.
information ready for
The
you.
offsite dispatch operations at ESB. Do we want to put that into capital or leave it in capital, or do we want to move it since it's such a small number? I guess that's the first question. I'm sorry, it's the same question for the guns, but I thought we were all in agreement at the last meeting that we were just going to buy the guns and not capitalize them, so I apologize for that.
Well, I didn't really want to buy the guns this year. I wanted to push them out to next year.
But I thought the chief said he needed them. You want to push it out to next year? All right, you want to make a motion to push it out to next year? That's up in the air too. My first motion was to move it. I don't want to put a guns, a $15,000 expense into a bond, that's all.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But I would move it into operating as well.
So Mr. Sears wants to move it to 2027.
I'll second that.
So Mr. Sears and
So we're
Dr.
not-
Cassio seconded to move the guns into 2027. The rifles, excuse me, not guns. Roll call?
Councilman Cassio,
Yes.
Councilman Sears,
Yes.
Councilman Ullman,
No.
Councilwoman Velez,
No,
Council President DeSena.
No.
Okay.
So what does that mean?
So that vote on again?
Good, I'm not the only one who's confused at this point.
So the motion was to push it to 27.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the original thing was to make it a budget line item, not a capital, not a bond, capital item.
Okay.
So you were all agreed we want to make it non-capital.
Okay.
And then Mr. Sears put on that he wanted to move it to 2027, which has failed.
So so
so we have to vote
So
again.
you
then
want-
can I I'll just make a motion
Yeah.
that we put the rifle replacement at 15K in 2026 in the current budget.
Anybody second that?
I'll second that.
Roll call?
Councilman Cassio,
No.
Councilman Sears,
No.
Councilman Ullman,
Yes?
Councilwoman Velez,
Yes,
Council President DeSena.
Yes, it fails again because you don't have 4 votes to increase the
Well,
budget.
let me ask you, can the mayor change his recommendation once it's given? Because we've done it on the other lines. We didn't do it for the vehicles, but we did it for the ESB.
Yeah, where we
You
added.
didn't have the 4 votes. You didn't do 4 votes to increase that line.
In the budget, if you move this out of capital and put it into tomorrow, you
That's what you
say,
were saying.
Right, but we're not
It's an
starting at
increase.
0. Do you know what I'm trying to
Yeah, I
say?
do, yeah. Yes.
okay, so that's for tomorrow, all right. So moving on, offsite
I'm
dispatch.
sorry, what are you gonna do?
Tomorrow, you're gonna ask for a new recommend for the extra 15,000 in ammo, like you just said at the
Yes,
beginning.
and then, okay, got it.
Offsite dispatch operations at ESB, $30,000. I think it's a small expense. I don't think it should be in capital. I guess that's the first question. Does council want it out of capital, or do we leave it in capital?
I think those are to me, those are longer term,
So you're okay leaving it?
permanent. Yes, I mean,
Everybody else okay with leaving it?
It's really a small expense.
It's small. I'm just worried about the,
Yeah, and that's what I was maybe going to go to the same place, Mike. Just a reminder to council, for every 100,000 you put in operating, it's about, what, $32
$32 this
increase
year.
on the average assessed home.
but it's a one-time $32 hit versus interest for all those years in a capital plan. That's,
Yeah.
we just paid $987,000 in interest on bonds and capital. So it's a lot of money. It adds up.
I think in the operating better.
So what say you? Mr. Allman said to leave it. Anybody want to move? My original thing was to move it to operating. So
I'll take a new motion.
you'll second operating?
Yeah.
Roll call to move it to operating?
That's for ESP,
The dispatch at ESB, offsite dispatch.
Okay, you second, okay, so, and I'm sorry, you motioned and you second?
Mr. Sears motioned, I seconded.
And reverse, I'm sorry.
What are you guys discussing?
Moving it to operating budget.
Is it like an approved expense either way, or it's not even approved? Like, are you gonna spend money either way?
we're talking about moving the $30,000 from capital to operating right now. So we're taking the vote on. Go ahead.
Councilman Casio,
Yes.
Councilman Sears,
Yes.
Councilman Omen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez,
Yes.
Council President DeSena.
Yes. IT-related equipment, on the following page. We have 5 new computers at 2,400 and council chambers computer software and 3 new microphones.
God bless you. Listen.
Can we push off the council chamber computers to 2027? That's what I was asking. Is it vital for this year? Mr. DeCarlo, do we know?
I'd like to ask Sue's opinion. She,
Mr. Kowski, can we move it to 2027?
Listen, these computers always update. They always have updates and everything. I mean, it's,
can we look at the expiration? I think
yeah, I
I
was
gave,
gonna say, I think this was like 6 years old.
guys an inventory on, if you go to the IT tab. And is it, do you have it, Sue, in front of you?
Yes.
I'm going to.
Which, I'm trying to see which one it is.
The one
that's
DCR
on-
recorder courtroom.
Desktop.
So, I mean, it's 21. The recommendation is every 5 years. You know, so.
Can we push it off till next year? I mean,
You probably could. I mean, you know, it's not like it's, you know, of course, you know, like anything, it just gets more expensive, but you know what?
everybody okay with pushing it up to 2027?
The 5 computers?
No, the
No, the
council chambers
computers
computer and the 3
And
new
the 3 new
microphones.
microphones. Microphones are extremely expensive, but they're getting very old, so.
So the 5 new computers at $2,400 each, are they all 2021s, Mr. DeCarlo? We don't know exactly who's getting
right.
new ones.
They have the old, no, they're older than that, 17s, yeah. So again, I would hope you'd approve it, but you know, if you want to move it back to the budget, I would recommend the IT line, if you want to move it. And I
Yeah,
could-
so let's move it back to the IT line. I make a motion to move it back to the IT line.
I'll second that.
Roll call, moving the 12,000 back to the IT line.
Councilman Casio.
Oh,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no,
You want it?
Say
Go
it
ahead,
now.
Mr. Cassio's a yes.
Okay. Councilman Sears,
Yes.
Councilman Omen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez,
Yes.
Council President DeSena.
Yes.
Council President, before you go on, can you just go to the page before, the offsite dispatch? I'm thinking the most appropriate place to put that is probably in the ESB building maintenance. I can't think of a better line. So we voted on that to go to 40. We'll just have it ready for you tomorrow night for 70,
Okay.
unless I
That's-
find a better line.
All right, well,
Okay.
you have till tomorrow.
Okay.
DPW 2026 expenses, they asked for a field rake, the groomer for $45,000. The old one is in dire need of replacement. I'm okay with leaving that in capital because it's a bigger expense, right? Or do we want to move it? What do you guys think?
You'll have
What's
pretty
its
good
life
life on it.
expectancy, Mike? How long does one?
I think the last one was like 20 years
20
old.
years,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, it'll last because it's only getting used 3 months of the year. So
Right.
I think the one we have now is I think it's a 2000, maybe before 2000.
Mhm.
Everybody okay with leaving it in capital?
Yep.
Since it's got such a long life. Moving down, OEM, they asked for the traffic signal plug at Ridgewood and Pascack. I think we should need to move that into into the regular budget. It's only $7,000
Remember that
expense.
he wanted that, he asked you guys to go to 10.
What's that?
Remember we thought it was 7, but when he was going through his supporting documents, he told you guys it had to go up to 10,000.
Oh, okay.
Because it was like just under 10.
All right, so that request is now 10,000, but I think we should move it back into the operating budget.
Yeah, I'll put it in, if it's okay, I'll put it into
Everybody okay with
OEM miscellaneous.
I'll make a motion to move it. Anybody second it?
I'll
Second.
Roll call. But we're moving 10,000, Mr. DeCarlo. I'll find a
Yes,
place
sir.
for it tomorrow.
Yep.
Councilman Casio,
No, I think it should stay in capital.
Councilman Sears,
Oh, yes.
Councilman Omen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez,
Yes.
and Council President DeSena.
Yes.
Okay, so yes for 10 and yes to go back into the budget.
Yep.
Okay.
Portable radio upgrade, police equipment and labor, $21,000. How long do these radios last, Mr. DeCarlo, do we know?
I'm sorry, I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's any anticipation of replacing them soon.
I mean, unless they're broken, that's
Yeah.
different, but I think, like, will we get 10 or 15 years out of it, hopefully? Or-
Mr. Villas, do you have any insight from communication perspective? No.
Do we want to leave it in capital, ladies and gentlemen?
Is this to address the
Do we want to vote on it too?
coverage issue?
Yes.
Oh, this is the coverage issue, sir.
Yeah.
I definitely want to approve this.
You told me to find the money the
Yeah.
next day. I couldn't find it.
You couldn't find it.
I couldn't find it.
This one really gets my
What did we spend originally?
$795,000.
Yeah, we're supposed to cover everything.
Yeah.
That is exactly correct, Mr. Sears.
I'm just upset that it took this long for us to fix it,
So
so
what happened?
it's something we can't discuss.
Oh,
We'll talk about it offline.
The chief of police texted me, he's expecting another 10 years out of the radio.
Okay, so,
How long are the traffics good for? The upgrade?
but this is just to put a plug in it for a generator.
Yeah.
$10,000 for a plug?
All the wiring in that new control board, he said he had to buy because the thing doesn't have the ability to do it, because it's the old control, he said. That's what
Clayton,
Mr. Clayton
yeah.
testified to.
I guess my quandary is, you talk about how long is it gonna last and how much does it cost, right? That seems to be the definitive criteria.
So we should,
Or data we're using to move stuff from capital to
yeah,
operating. So I think whatever we decide to do, at least be consistent
yeah.
with that, but in this case, that's not what you're doing.
Well, that signal is going to last 30
Forever.
years.
Exactly.
Yeah, but this is just a fix to the signal. It's not,
It's a fix, right?
you're taking
So it's-
$10,000.
So it's a fix, but we're talking about,
Yeah, but you're taking $10,000, you're gonna add all that interest to it. That's what bothers me about putting it in
I understand.
not keeping it in capital.
I understand that, Mike, but when you talk about, if you add up all your capital stuff, it's $10,000 more, right?
Yeah. Okay, all right,
It's
so
just a philosophical difference,
I know,
that's all.
I just hate paying interest on stuff that we
No, I
spend down.
don't like to pay extra when you don't have to, but
$987,000 of interest last year. That's a lot of money.
I understand, I get it.
So we want to leave these two items in capital, ladies and gentlemen?
Just,
I thought you already,
we
Right,
already
you took the
voted.
one.
Oh, we voted, yeah, we
Like the
voted.
radio upgrade, the
Yeah.
radios.
The radio upgrade we're talking about.
We wanted the 21,000, can't find it, so.
I mean, it obviously has to be done,
Yes,
but I would really appreciate understanding how we got here, because
agreed.
I think everyone who was on the council at that time was under the impression that that investment of that size was primarily being done
For that
to
reason.
address
That particular.
that gap.
Yep.
And the fact that the gap wasn't closed, I think is, not the best.
Yeah.
And to your point, the fact, when did that program close? How many years ago?
At least.
It was your first term on, yeah, it was all our first terms on council together.
Well, how do we know this is going to fix that problem?
Because that's what we've been told. We're hoping that it better fix it.
Years ago to cover
I
it
know.
too.
Well,
Again,
all we can do is hope for the best.
I respectfully disagree. I remember the conversation saying it increased the coverage a lot, but it was never meant to be 100%.
Okay, well, you know what? The
And
great
I
thing
think the
is,
chief said that also, and he was a big part of the radio project when it took place.
I think we tape these meetings, and we have minutes, so we could find out.
All right, I respectfully disagree because we need to fund this because this is
Let's take care of
important.
the budget,
Yeah,
and then we
let's
can go
do-
into that.
So I'm okay with the 21,000 staying in. Do we leave it in capital or do we want to move it, ladies and gentlemen? The hour's getting late.
you're taking good notes.
Of course.
Okay.
It's not
It'll be a
recorded.
nightmare tomorrow.
No, it's not. Who's got everything? Ladies and gentlemen, what say you? Do we leave it here or do we want to move it?
I would leave it in capital.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
Everything, so we're just going to leave it. The next two, we okay with the expenses for building or park improvements to Clark Field Basketball Court and the grant match for Memorial and Clark improvements. And those should stay in capital because they're capital projects.
Capital.
capital.
But is everybody okay approving those two
Yeah.
projects?
Remember, I got to go to 105 on the basketball. Remember, I sent you guys the supporting documentation.
Well, we're going to get a different bidder, right?
Yeah, but so what I gave you is just for reference, but if I don't have the 105, I'm just going to come back to you for the need for more money and then we.
So you want to
raise money.
increase that from 95 to 105?
Yeah, please. I think that would be a good buffer.
All right. Everybody okay with those two expenses being put into capital this year?
I have a question.
Sure.
About the Memorial Field in Clark. I understand it's for ADA. I believe we received from Mr. DiCarlo a
Conceptual design.
conceptual design. And the conceptual design doesn't go around the entire field. So I guess my question is, it's sort of like a
Horseshoe.
horseshoe, a reverse horseshoe going along Pascack School and then along the parking lot.
Yeah.
And it stops about halfway where the kids used to, what do you call
Sleigh
it?
ride.
The berm.
Thank you very much.
Very
We're
well.
doing charades. And there's nothing along the,
I agree.
so, I think it's great that we're getting these grants, but I don't know if adding another 100 feet of path to nowhere is a good use of the grant. So that's my only concern. And I don't know if there's an opportunity now that we have, what is that, 390? Is that the one we own?
450.
Jason, too.
Yes,
Go for it.
450, if that's going to provide an opportunity to close the loop, but I just, I question.
You feel that we are wasting money on 100 feet to nowhere? I didn't realize there was.
No, with the conception.
He said close the loop, spend an
Oh, you
extra
want
money
to
to
spend
put
the money to close the loop.
100 feet in.
We're adding,
I think that's phase two maybe, right, Mr. Holman?
Well, the idea, I thought it went all the way around, but when I went back to get the conceptual design, I realized the ADA sidewalks is to link that individual to where they would sit. So it brings them from the parking spot all the way around to the baseball
Bleachers.
field.
Yes.
And then it just brings you to the men's softball field.
yes.
So I was wrong when I told you. I thought it went all the way around.
Well, we could
So-
apply for a phase two
But
grant
it's-
to
I
complete
think
it, right?
Oh, I have two
We asked
grants
Mr.
out
Budo.
there to pay us back for the 120.
Gotcha.
So, if you're suggesting to close the loop, I think we certainly could do that, but it was gonna cost more money than that, because if you saw the price of the concrete, but, yeah.
So I guess my question is was the conceptual design based on the grants, or is it based on the final?
I think we came up with the idea first, based on the fact that it is supposed to be for the ADA improvements. And then we couldn't really prove that it would be useful for that other lane. I mean, those are my words. They didn't say that.
No, that's fine.
We did apply for CDBG, and they called us and said, hey, do you want to consider retracting your application, because we're not going to approve it because it wasn't exclusive to that handicap usage. So then that's when we reapplied for the Bergen County Open Space Park Improvement Grant that did give us the 80,000, right? We anticipated the whole project to be 200,000. That's why we're getting this 20. We've since now, we resubmitted for the DCA Local Recreation Improvement Grant to help the township get the 120 back. And then we also just filed a letter of intent for Bergen County Open Space Park Improvement Grant for this year to assist us with getting some of that money back too. But, you know, again, who knows when we're gonna get that. They've been really good to us.
But we could also apply for a phase 2 and complete the loop, like
course.
Mr. Allman's saying.
Of course.
because
Yeah.
I think it'd definitely be
Yeah.
amenable to the county in the program to continue the loop, to give them a full ADA accessible path around the whole field and not a horseshoe at this time.
I mean, if you go back, you know, to ancient time when the turf field was, you know,
Yes.
under discussion, that was one of the, you know, advantages or one of the proposals.
Just to have a full walking path around the whole.
Yeah, so, you know, I think,
when Mayor Sopwitz and I first started getting these grants for the town, it was a big impetus of getting the access, because I know like Clark Field had no access. And when we started this, you know, and the mayor's continued that, but it's worked out very well for a lot of, you know, we get a lot of compliments when we're at, you know, games and programs of people being able to drive up and be able to park right at Clark Field or at Cherry Field and be right there and have a pass right there. So, you know, through the years of continuing this program, I think it's worked, and I think if we all, you know, with the administration's continued support, continue to fund this, it's well worth
Okay.
it.
and that's fine.
Right? I think,
Yeah.
right, Mayor Conway? I think this has
Yes,
worked out very well.
absolutely, yes, yeah.
So the 120 is staying where it is, correct?
Those two items both staying where they are.
Just increasing the 95 to the 105.
Yeah.
And then you have the one other thing in here for the softball.
For the Acacia grant for the, so that,
Minefield, the
Weinfeld,
2026
yeah, so that
plan,
stays there.
That's gonna stay.
Yep,
Okay, so 30 grand is approved?
yep.
But
Oh,
that,
thank you, because I'm.
We don't have a choice.
No, I'm definitely gonna need that.
but that goes in to each one of these, in theory.
Well,
Isn't it
I don't
not?
do that anymore because when, like, if you guys gave me, say, the 105 for the basketball court, I didn't fluff that number for soft costs. So if John, when he sets up, Mr. Corcoran sets up these accounts and he takes 5% out of everything, I ended up being short, and then I got to dip into the soft costs for the thing. So I didn't.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't pad any of these numbers to account for what I will need to pay those individuals. Like to borrow money again, LVB will be $10,000. You know, Acacia will be about $10,000. You know, and then, you know, Beinfeld, you know, so I feel 30 will be sufficient. Maybe we won't need everything, but I don't tell you, like, I don't need 15,000 for rifles, but tell you 18,000 because I'm accounting for the 5% to set up the softball. I usually try not to set up the softball unless we need it.
So I understand how you're presenting it. My question is, in the actual bonding ordinance, there are caps to soft cost and interest associated with each issuance. So how are we tracking that? Because we can't exceed X percent of the total for the soft costs.
Well, I mean, if you're asking, I would set up those soft costs. I mean, the other idea would be to fund this through the budget line too, put it in the financial services.
No, I mean, I don't give a crap. I mean, no, but you know, I want to ensure that we are in compliance with our ordinances, these bonding ordinances. There's very specific language about soft costs and interest and the percentage that it can be of the total.
Yeah, we're nowhere near that. We'll be good with the 30,000. And I will set up a separate line to keep track of the soft costs. You know, it becomes like a bowl of soup sometimes, those soft cost lines. That's why I don't like them too much, because it's hard to tell what's associated with what project.
Yes.
So like, you know, I would, like, if you go back to the engineers, I will probably put that all in one line and call it the 2026 road improvements. You know what I mean? I wouldn't ask John to set up the soft costs for the 138. I hope I'm understanding what you're saying.
No, you are, and I believe I'm understanding what you're saying. It doesn't answer the question of
That's a switch for you guys.
how are we tracking it? Because you know, if you look at the DPW building, it has monies that are from probably 30 years ago, or at least 20 years ago, that were allocated, that we reallocated. So at some point, we've been paying interest on those, we've been paying, you know, soft costs related to the bond issuance. And so my only question, and we can ask, you know, if Acacia's coming or Mr. Beinfeld is coming, Beinfield, excuse me, how are we tracking that and ensuring that we're not violating our own bonding ordinances?
I understand.
I mean,
You know, I don't know what to say. I mean,
Why put it in there? I mean, we put all this information in these ordinances, I'm assuming because we have to legally, you know, adhere to them. And if we don't, you know, if we're not tracking it individually, I'm just wondering, how do we attest to it? And how do we ensure we're in compliance? And how do we ensure we haven't exceeded?
But when you say tracking, you're not saying necessarily track the expense. You're talking about tracking the timeframes with.
No, the expense.
Yeah, but you must not be caught talking about a simple audit trail, meaning like we spent 5,000 on Beinfeld and 7,000 on Lurch Vinci Bliss.
No, like, so we're heading down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow I'll send you an example of what I'm referring
Okay.
to in
Yeah,
a
well-
recent bonding ordinance.
Yeah, I mean, you know, just so you know, I mean, it's all, these ordinances and these capital lines are part of the audit. So I would hope if we were doing something incorrectly, you know, I'd feel confident it would be get caught. But if I understand what you're asking for a little better offline, we can get you the appropriate answer.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn?
May I just make two quick comments about capital? I agree with most of what the council is doing about moving things into operating. However, would it be okay next year when we start the budget process in November to get a rule of thumb from the council as to what you want to see where, so we don't go through this thing to say, you know, we're proposing it in capital, but you feel it's better. You know,
I think-
save us a lot of time as it would have
I
tonight.
think the items we've moved tonight,
Like I said, I agree.
as a general rule of thumb, would be
Mhm.
limited numbers. I think
Okay.
the larger things that last 20, 30 years,
Yeah.
or even more than 15 would stay in capital, but I
Yeah,
think when you have.
but there's a dollar thing in
But
there.
I think it's like, if it's
So-
$10,000, we want
Yeah,
to
like
just pay.
10,000 and more than, or
Right.
less than a 5.
Maybe we'll come up with
lifespan.
maybe we'll discuss it in future meeting what the threshold would be.
Yeah, okay.
Because that was one of Dr. Cassio's, what's the threshold that we
Yeah.
want to
Well,
abide by?
whatever you come up with, it's got to be consistent.
Correct.
That's what we're looking for,
You
yeah.
know,
And second question is, I promise, I don't mean it to be a gotcha question, but on the police vehicles, do you feel that the chief did not do a proper job explaining the need for them? Do you feel that the
No, I
vehicles
just-
cost too much?
I just think we have 22 police vehicles right now in-house and 3 more Mavericks when we have all those vehicles sitting in the back parking lot
Mhm.
at this time, when we could use those vehicles for off duty.
I
That's mine.
rarely admit I don't remember everything that's said. Did the chief volunteer or did anyone from the council ask, if we approve these vehicles, how many could you get rid of? Because just last week, he told me when we were meeting, right now he has 4 vehicles out of service for repair issues. And so that's part of the reason he feels he has to keep a larger fleet, where if the fleet was newer, he could, and I just don't remember that conversation taking place while he was here to say, all right, well, if you got new vehicles, how many do you think you could?
I did
get
ask
rid
him
of?
that. Well, I did
Okay,
ask-
that's
Only 1 for 1 when we were preparing.
Yeah,
He
I-
believes if he got a
I
new
did
Maverick,
ask,
he could
we
get
did,
rid
I
of
did
it.
ask him that question because I
Okay.
looked at the 2025 audit and it shows that the police department has 22 vehicles or 19 and 2 other off. There's hope, but it came out to almost 22 vehicles. So that was the punchline.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, I just have one quick question. The vehicles I know, so whatever vehicles you do approve, whether it's the 2 Tahoes and the 3 Mavericks or any combination thereof, it's definitely not going to be in capital.
It was definitely not. We made that decision. It's not going to
Okay,
be.
so I'll be able to get you all the final numbers, the capital improvement fund number based on that then. So thank you.
Thank you. Motion, go
Can I ask a non-budget question?
ahead, Mr. Toll.
We received a document from you, Mr. Carlo, today for from Mr. Kenny for the OEM.
Yes.
Can you just explain what, quite honestly, I'm not even sure I understand. I mean, I read the document and I have a lot of questions on it.
The 10-page part?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's part of like a 840-page document. I can send you the link to it, but that's why I wanted to try and get the questions in advance for him, because he's going to attend. But from my understanding, this is something the county government takes under their wing, the county OEM, and they work with the municipal OEMs. And it's based on the county's master plan. So I don't know if it's done specific to all the different municipalities within the county. And as you can see, we have 10 pages that, honestly, I'm not that familiar with either. That's why I wanted to get it in everybody's hands quickly. I'm not prepared to tell you we don't have a choice. It's like one of those, we don't have a choice. We have to agree to it. But, if there's specific questions, but, Mr. Kenny or Corporal Kenny will definitely be here to give a better explanation than I did.
This is on Monday.
This is a Monday. Yeah, it's a
that's-
resolution that'll be
Yeah,
up for Monday.
Okay.
Well, my only concern is, in reading it, there is a lot of language that, based in the current political environment, I'm not sure we want to be highlighting. And I don't know if, this ties into any funding downstream, but, if we say that all of our well, not all of them, but our problems are related to climate change, and our federal government doesn't believe in climate change, I'm concerned that it may present an opportunity to either lose funding or not be considered downstream. I don't know, again, I am a firm believer in climate change, but, clearly that's not the direction that the federal government is. And if we're looking for monies from the federal government, either as direct from the municipality or through the county, I'm just concerned that, we'll be excluded for those types of reasons. So,
Do you mind when you're doing the other email about the borrowing, if you want to expand on anything? Because that might be something Corporal Kenny has to,
Research also.
his head as well.
sure.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow
Good night,
night.
everyone.
Thank you, Mr.
Time,
Corcoran.
same place.
Good night.
See-